Welcome in. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. It is the Rob Kendall Show. As you see behind me, work in progress. We're making progress. New backdrop studio coming along great. Producer Jason, Ethan Hatcher from WIBC, they worked their asses off last night. Me, not lifting a finger. But those guys, they did great. And this studio, totally coming together, looks outstanding. And man, like we said, just so many great things happening now here with the Rob Kendall Show. We've got a bunch of stuff to get to today because it's Election Day. It's the Election Day edition of the Rob Kendall Show. And that includes a big announcement about our live event. Yes, you guys asked for it. You said you wanted it. We said, all right, we'll do it. And coming up here in just a little bit, we'll be able to tell you all about the big live event where we can all get back together, have a great evening of fun. We tried to keep it super affordable and really just as a way to say thank you for you guys, to you guys, for helping us grow this program over our first 9 weeks. And that's what it's been all about. That's why we're doing the 3 hours now. By the way, 3 hours now, 9 to noon, live on YouTube, on demand, wherever you get your podcast. Thanks to John Rust, helping us add that third hour. Thanks to all of our sponsors that have been such a huge part of this program, of growing this program. And that's what it's really all about in the end. It's all about being able to have these conversations that you're not going to hear anywhere else. That's what we're doing here, talking about issues that other people can't or won't talk about because you need to hear them. So stick around. Coming up here in just a little bit, we're gonna tell you all about the big live show. The books, the buttons, they're going out today. I packed them up. I boxed them up. I'm going to the post office. As soon as we get done with the show here today, we are shipping that stuff out. And that was a really popular little thing we did. So maybe here in the near future, we'll do another one of those. That was fun, and we appreciate everybody who's supporting the show. Speaking of supporting the show, if you haven't done so yet, you can really help us out. Head over to robkendallshow.com. Lots of stuff to do there. robkendallshow.com. Hit the support button. It's a great way to keep us rolling, to keep us moving forward, doing this thing for you guys every single day. And also, we say it every day, but we say it because it's important. You guys have been great about doing this. The like, the share, and the subscribe. That's a great way. At no cost to anyone, you can help us grow this program. First of all, hit that thumbs up button. That little thumbs up there on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. If you have a Facebook, if you got a Twitter, share our feed. You can hit that little 3 dots. You can share the feed, the little arrow button. If you're watching us live, you can share the feed and get us out there to people. Let people know this program is here. That's how we are going to grow, is through you. How we're going to continue to grow is through you. And if you haven't done so yet, and I know most of you have, but if you're one of those people who hasn't, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our feed. That really helps us as well. Thank you guys for 9 great weeks to start this thing off. Man, it's been better than I would have ever imagined. And you guys have been the catalyst behind that. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. All right, before we get to the program, and this is Election Day edition, and man, is this election, it's bizarre. It's depressing. It seems like we're going to lose no matter who wins, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But first, winners are Double D's Barbecue. You guys know we've talked about Double D's for, a couple weeks now, and everybody who's been out there is like, the food is amazing. I said, yeah, that's why they're on our program. We don't people who half-ass it around here as sponsors on the Rob Kendall Show. Double D's Barbecue, located in Clayton, right near 40 and 39. It's a little out of the way, but it's totally worth the trip. The owners are Dennis and Tina Duncan, along with their son Garrett. They are from Memphis, so they take great pride in their Memphis-style barbecue. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. Now, they're open Wednesday through Saturday. So now's the time for you to make your plans for this week to get out to Double D's Barbecue in Clayton. They've been the winner of both Best Ribs and Best Sauce at Rib Fest in Hendricks County. And one of the cool things about Double D's, Tina, the owner, she used to work at Graceland. She loves Elvis. So the whole restaurant, Elvis-themed. So even if you're like, I don't know about Memphis-style barbecue, if you're an Elvis person, Double D's, the place for you. Check out the full menu, ribs, brisket, and more. Make your plans to eat there this week. You won't be disappointed. DDBBQ317.com, DDBBQ317.com. Okay, it's election day, and I was I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm becoming such a get off my lawn person. I'm becoming such an old man yells at clouds person. Look, there are races all across the state, and we'll get into some of the early voting numbers, which are very interesting here in just a little bit. But the thing everybody's looking at are these sort of 8 or 9 Senate races across our state, in which there are legitimate challengers to incumbents. Now, a lot of times these incumbent state senators, they'll get no challenger in a primary, or if they do, it's some person who's like, hey, I'm just throwing my name on the ballot. They don't raise any money. They don't offer any sort of legitimate pushback. This is unprecedented time because there are 8 or 9 legitimate challengers, people who you would say, okay, on paper. Now, the races may not end up being close, one way or another. Don't know. I'm being totally serious with you guys. I have zero idea how many challengers are going to win these Senate races. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there were 7 who win. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there are 2. It is that, I have no idea this year on this. There's a couple of them that I look at and say, okay, I kind of think I know how this one's going to go based on who was running and who they were running against. But there's parts of the state, northwest part of the state stuff. I'm just not in tune to what's going on up there. And so I have no idea how those elections are going to break. I talked to some people yesterday who were kind of in the know. They had some predictions both ways in terms of incumbents they thought were going to win, challengers they thought might win that were kind of surprising to me. And they said the same thing. No idea. Just all guess. All a guess at this point. So we'll see what happens. But here's the thing. Whoever wins these Senate races, we're all going to lose. This election has proven to me that no matter who wins, we're all going to lose. And here's what I'm talking about. And what's frustrating to me is there was such an opportunity to make a real statement in this election. There was such an opportunity for challengers to incumbent senators to make a real statement about how bad the governance has been on specific issues and how we're going to fix them. That was the opportunity of the challengers across the state in a unified voice. Sort of like if you go back to 1994 and how the Republicans nationwide ran on the contract with America, in which candidates across the country said, we're running on this specific group of things. If you elect me, I represent this area, but nationally, here's what I'm running on. Here's what I will do for you. Here's how we collectively will make the country better. And the Republicans won in a landslide. And what happened out of that, because they had run on those specific things, we ended up with a balanced budget. It's the last time our budget was balanced in this country. And what happened? We had the greatest economy that was produced out of that in the history of our nation. Because our dollar meant something, our word meant something, our government got better and more efficient. Those people ran in a block. Now, it was nationwide, but they ran as a team. They ran on a set of ideas. Core principles, elect us, and here's how you'll hold us accountable. And they followed through on a lot of those things. The Republicans in Congress. Balanced budget, great economy, and it really was gangbusters really up until 9/11. And really you saw relative peace in our government until the Clinton impeachment in 1998. But the economy, even in the post-impeachment world, stayed strong because of the Republicans holding the Clinton administration accountable. Clinton didn't triangulate back out of choice. He did it by force. He saw where the country was headed. It's okay. Country wants to pay its bills. Country wants better, more accountable government. Sign me up. Clinton was a shapeshifter. These Senate candidates, because there were so many of them running, had a real opportunity to run as a group on a core set of ideas that if you elect us, if you vote for one of us, you vote for all of us, and here's what you're going to get. Here's what we will do as a block of 8 or 9 or how many of us cross the finish line when we get into that Senate. They haven't done any of that. There's no unified voice. There's no core set of things they're running on. And these campaigns have been hijacked by what I am dubbing the turning point bros. Now, look, these incumbents are awful. Our state is horribly run. You are repeatedly put last while special interest is put first. Both special interest in the terms of select businesses, organizations, groups, and special interest in terms of our government. You got screwed on property taxes last year because the special interest of local government won out. And on the surface, you would say to yourself, well, anyone's got to be better than what we have now. Anyone's got to do a better job than what we have now. And in some cases, that's probably true. In most cases, I would say absolutely. You got to vote out all incumbents. The only problem is I've seen these insurgents, the campaigns they've run, campaigns that have been hijacked by Turning Point USA and the Turning Point Bros, which we'll get to here in a second. And I look at it and I go, either way, I think the government's going to remain really crappy. And if the challengers win, I got to deal with the Turning Point people for the next 4 years. I don't know. I don't know. Now, in some cases, there are multiple people running, multiple challengers running, and that gives you an exit ramp. I've said in almost every case, I would vote against the incumbent or leave it blank. And in a lot of these Senate races, I might end up leaving it blank. Look, we are in a world now where, and this is a Trump phenomenon, especially Trump Part 2, Trump post-2020, in which, in the internet era, in the social media influencer era, these young people who are all ultimately, for the most part, just about look at me. That's what it's about. It's about elevation of themselves. It's about look at me. It's about pay attention to me. And look, I say young people. I mean, it's people in their 20s and 30s, 40s, right? Like, this is the world we're in. The look at me culture has swallowed up politics as well. It has swallowed up government as well. And what we have seen is a group of people, younger people, who have recognized the fastest way for me to elevate is to parrot, is to imitate, is to ingratiate myself into the Trump orbit. Not because they care about better government, not because they're about fixing issues, but because that's best for them. That's what is going to elevate them. And in the case of Turning Point USA, in a post-Charlie Kirk world, you are seeing it play out in our state. You are seeing these people who don't live in our state parachute into the state of Indiana. They know nothing about Indiana. They know nothing about the candidates, and they just start parroting talking points. The insults, the name calling, this is a this is a that. They don't know anything about these incumbent senators. They know nothing. 2 or 3 weeks ago, they probably didn't even know their name. You go here. You do this. Roger that. Clearly, there are no adults running Turning Point USA anymore. It is amazing how that organization has seemingly lost all institutional control after the death of Charlie Kirk. Look, I didn't think it was going to be what it was. It couldn't be what it was post-Charlie Kirk. It can't be. It just can't be. When you lose the guy, it's never going to be the same. You see this all the time with sports teams or famous coaches, or when famous players retire. Look at the Patriots after Tom Brady, or IU basketball after Bob Knight. When you lose the main cog, the wheel, the glue, the person who arguably is bigger than whatever organization or team or whatever they're a part of, it's not going to be the same. I didn't think it would be like this. There are no adults in charge over at Turning Point USA, and what you have now are a bunch of kids, legitimately college kids just out of college, who are like, well, shoot, if I just parrot, mimic, do whatever to get Trump's attention or Trump orbit's attention, that's what's best for me. And I've seen this now for months play out on social media, and I saw it before that with redistricting when the Turning Point USA people led the rally. Look, here's the deal. If the Turning Point people don't get at least 4 of these Senate races tonight, the Better Business Bureau ought to just give them an F rating because they failed on redistricting, and if they don't get 4 of the 9, now, I don't know how you're going to judge Fort Wayne because Trump endorsed Liz Brown, which is hilarious because that is Jim Banks and Todd Rokita's public enemy number 1. I don't know how you judge that because I think the Turning Point people are in favor of Vote, the Vote guy. So I'm going to say Vote is their problem. So I'll lump him in with them, even though Trump endorsed Liz Brown. They're also in with Bagsby, I think, even though Trump endorsed Ron Alting, who's like super lip. This is the point. It's all stupid. Liz Brown and Ron Alting are total liberals. Their whole legislative life. Look at the crap they've pulled. Liz Brown has been the biggest impediment to Second Amendment advocacy in our state and enforcing immigration laws in our state. Trump endorsed her. That's ridiculous. He knows nothing. Ron Alting is a radical left social super lib. Mr. Pride guy himself. Trump endorsed him. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. This is my point. That's why I'm so angry about it. And then you have these idiots. Look, I've dubbed them Turning Point bros. You know why? Because these guys, I see them on social media. I see them post. They remind me of 12, 13, 14 years ago, the people I used to run into at Kilroy's and Brothers in Broad Ripple. Except instead of trying to pick up chicks, they're trying to alter the governmental landscape in our state. It's the same look, the same demeanor, the same arrogance, the same completely zero idea about what's going on, except like it was harmless when they were trying to pick up college girls. They're trying to take over governments now. They know nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so I'm sitting here going, damn. On one hand, I get the status quo, which sucks, and I know it sucks. Then on the other hand, I have a bunch of candidates who won't run on anything because they don't know what they're doing. They've been completely subservient to Trump because they got sold that the endorsement was all that they needed. And then with the endorsement comes some absolute subserviency, not only on redistricting, but your whole campaign. What are these people running on other than redistricting? Nothing in most cases, nothing. In some of these races, these candidates have been asked what differentiates them from the incumbent senator. They can't give a real clear answer. In the case of Michelle Davis running against Greg Walker, she's essentially running against her own votes because she's a state rep. Like, she's probably going to win. But Michelle Davis has voted to do a lot of this crap that everybody's pissed off about. And why would I think it's going to get any better with her? Why would I think that? On one hand, I have the incumbents suck, which I know sucks and isn't going to get any better. But then on the other hand, I have a group of challengers who haven't put their name to anything in terms of concrete policies of elect us, and this is what we're going to go in and fight for. Look, just telling me you're going to lower my property taxes as a talking point, that does nothing for me. How? What are you going to cut? How are you going to reform the system? You can't get that from any of these people, which means they're not going to do it. We were told by the governor last year, we're coming back for more in 26. We were told by the lieutenant governor, we're coming back for more in 26. We were told last year, Braun's got an ace up his sleeve. He's coming back for more. It's the first step. You guys have gotten your assessments. Did it look like there were any additional steps that took place this year? You know what's going to happen to your bills next year. If the governor and lieutenant governor lie out of their ass about it, why would you think that some state Senate candidate in Lafayette wouldn't lie about it? The elections to me are maddening. And look, I vote out of obligation. And this year I went and voted against all the incumbents. I didn't have a Senate race to worry about because they suck. And so if you have an obligation to go vote and you think the incumbent sucks, you got to vote for the challenger. But I look at these Senate challengers, and there is a strong chance it will just get worse. The Turning Point USA bros, they're not serious about government. They're serious about themselves and social media influence. Except the phoniness, it's playing on social media to alter elections now rather than just fibbing to a chick at a bar about your accomplishments. It is so sad to me that there is such an opportunity to actually make the government better, to actually make our lives better, to actually run on things that matter. And we've wasted it. We've wasted it around redistricting. By the way, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Rod Bray was on CNN yesterday, and it was a really interesting conversation. He said outside money has spent $9 million in Indiana. Now look, Bray ain't some poor singing orphan in all of this either. He spent $1 gajillion because he wants to keep his job. So I'm not defending him with that, and we'll get into this more later on in the show. Think about that, though. $9 million from money outside of the state of Indiana on Indiana state Senate races. For what? You can't change what the 2026 map is going to look like. What? Why would someone from Maine give hundreds, and I'm not saying somebody, I'm just picking a random state. Why would somebody from Washington, D.C., or Maine, or Illinois, or California give hundreds of thousands of dollars for state Senate races for people they've never met? Do we believe everyone's just super passionate about lowering utility bills in the state of Indiana? No, of course not. It means we're going to go from rotten, in some cases just straight up corrupt, unethical establishment hacks where nothing is getting accomplished for us, to nothing changing, except it's going to be like Batman. Remember when the Bane people take over? Like, I feel that's what the Turning Point bros are turning into. If we put them in charge of this state, it's going to be like the Batman movie where the Bane people take over the city. I want better government. I don't want talking points, calling somebody a rhino. Like, it's so old at this point. It gets so tiresome. The whole routine to me is tiresome. You know what I want? I want to afford to gas put in my car. You know what I want to be able to do? Afford to be able to turn my lights on in my house. You know what I want to be able to do? Afford to live in my house. And the name calling and the petulant, childish behavior. Now, look, I'm all for petulant, childish behavior if it's going to make policy better. The name calling, the insults, if it's about making government better, hey, sign me up for that. This is not that. These Turning Point bros don't swoop in here. Hey, Jim Buck voted for the gas tax. Okay. So what? Like, they always have the insult, but there's never better government. You notice that from these people? There's never any better government to be proposed. And I hate this because I hate the people that are in the office right now. Our slogan on our show is we dislike all of these people. In this case, yes, we do. What a missed opportunity to make our lives better. And I don't know what you guys are going to do. Look, if you're in one of these contested Senate races or House races, now the Turning Point people haven't really done much with the House races, but if you are hearing my voice in one of these Senate races, like, let me know what you're thinking. How did you vote? How are you planning on voting today? Because I don't think in many cases there's any good answers. Hey, is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salts, environmental buildup like mold and dirt, all can cause unsightly damage that can end up in expensive repair. That's where you got to call our guys from Seal Now. Seal Now, the clean, seal, and stain professionals. Driveways, patios, they do it. But it's a lot more than just concrete. They can also do decks, fences, pergolas, any exterior concrete or wood structure outdoor that needs maintained or clean. Seal Now. SEALNOW.com. SEALNOW.com. Get a free estimate there. Check out all the work they do. See how your project might look. And then when you contact them, you'll get a free estimate. They'll find out what you want to do. They'll tell you the price. No surprises. But on top of that, when you go to sealnow.com, SEALNOW.com, you can get 20% off, an incredible 20% off any long-term sealing project if you say, I heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show. What an incredible deal. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, the Indianapolis City County Council, they did something that is beyond words in terms of stupid last night, and it is why everyone hates the government. And there is just, wow. The Republicans got theirs in the first segment. The Democrats are going to get theirs next. We'll talk about it when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, representing the Wabash Valley by listening and never compromising our shared values. That's why I'm the only Senate candidate endorsed by Indiana Right to Life, the NRA, Indiana Realtors, professional firefighters, and the Indiana Farm Bureau. These endorsements are from the good people from Indiana and for Indiana, a sign of trust that I have built and results that you can count on. I'm Senator Greg Good, and I respectfully ask for your vote in the Indiana Republican primary.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Certainly appreciate you being with us. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, hit that little thumbs up button. Like the feed. Like the feed. Like the show. That helps us grow. See, we're all in this together. We've all entered into this relationship. You guys came willingly. Nobody forced you into anything. Hit the thumbs up button. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. You guys did an awesome job with that yesterday. And if you haven't done so yet, share our feed. If you got a Facebook, if you've got a YouTube or not YouTube, if you've got a Twitter account, put us out there. So here's where Rob's at, what he's doing now. Let people know. We've got to grow organically. That's how this is going to happen. 3 hours a day, most of it Indiana news and politics and government. Got the national we weave in there as well. But we're going to need you guys to help us continue to grow. All of it's coming to fruition on our end. The studio's looking great. Jason and Ethan, man, they did that. And thanks again to Ethan Hatcher. He has just been such a great friend and has really helped out getting this thing up and at operation, making the studio look great. And Ethan's been awesome. So thanks to him. And obviously producer Jason, he's a trained wizard. He had given up a career in wizardry to come over here and do this show here with me. So he's been an instrumental part of all of that as well. But let's keep it growing together. And again, just a reminder, if you like what we do, like how can I support this show? There's a couple different ways. Number one, we got the support button over at robkendallshow.com. Support button over at robkendallshow.com. And whether it's $1, $10, whatever it is, we are always thankful for that. And number two, if you own a business, run a business, know somebody who's got a business, we love promoting local businesses and helping them grow. We got a pretty good track record so far of that. Just call our friends over at Double D's Barbecue and ask them how it's going. We'd love to promote. We'd love to get to know. We'd love to learn more about how we can work together. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Sales at robkendallshow.com. Also, coming up next segment, stick around. We're going to have the announcement, the big reveal on the live show, how you can come see us in person later this summer. It's coming up in just a little bit. All right, but let's talk about, well, before we do that, let's talk about one of our fabulous sponsors, Lauren Wilson, Realtor Extraordinaire. Lauren Wilson with At Properties. She'd love the opportunity to get to know you. Even if you're not looking at selling or buying right now, Lauren Wilson, get that plan in place with her. Start thinking ahead. Planning is absolutely key. We had Dan Dockich on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about that in life. He was talking about, he said, whether it's coaching or playing or media, he said, planning is the key. If you're not planning, you're probably not succeeding. And it's true. It's totally true with buying or selling a house. If you get ahead of the game when you make that decision, you're going to be so much better off. You're going to be so much further ahead. So call Lauren Wilson today with At Properties. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Lauren would love to get to know you, understand what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and she can start putting that plan in place today. Plus, then you'll have an advocate in your corner when it comes time to flip the switch. Lauren Wilson, At Properties. 317-590-2290. All right. Let's talk about what the Indianapolis City County Council did last night. These people are ridiculous beyond belief. So the Indy Star has the article, and this is the most government thing ever. We hate government because they're wholly ridiculous, they're disingenuous, and they're generally just full of crap. It's all about lip service. It's not about action. So the Indianapolis City County Council, in the same meeting last night, where they passed a symbolic resolution to essentially ban data centers or put a pause on data centers, approved a data center. I didn't stutter, guys. In the same meeting where the Indianapolis City County Council passed a non-binding resolution. Non-binding resolution means it means nothing. They want you to think they did something, but they didn't actually do anything. I used to think of this all the time when I would hear the phrase, when I was in the government, I would hear non-binding. It was like, well, what are we doing? Right? Like you'll have that in maybe like contractual agreements. Okay, hey, this is a letter of intent, right? It's a letter of intent. You intend to do this, but you're not obligated in. We're just laying out the parameters of what everybody wants to accomplish here. And you're saying this is what we accomplish, and we're saying the same thing, but it doesn't bind you into it. Okay, I get that. But you're the government. You are the final voice. It's all about you. You get to make the call. What is this non-binding stuff? But they wanted you to believe, because data centers are very unpopular and people don't understand them and they don't get them, they wanted you to believe, hey, we're taking action. We're really putting our foot down. Look at us. We're passing a resolution putting a moratorium on data centers. Okay, it's non-binding and we don't mean it, but look at us. We did something. And in the same meeting, they approved a very controversial data center, as almost all of these are, in a black neighborhood. So the non-binding resolution, as we said, doesn't carry any force of law. They're not bound by it. They're not obligated to it. And what the resolution simply does is it merely urges, according to the Star, the Metropolitan Development Commission, which is the entity that oversees land use and development in the city of Indianapolis, to not approve any more data centers until the council approves zoning regulations or 1 year is up. What? It's amazing how when people want to be in charge in government, they'll level the heavy hand of government like none other. Like when old Power Pants McGee Holcomb during COVID. You will stay home. You will wear a mask. You will lose your job. Your business will close. Same thing with Hogsett. You will eat in the street. Remember during COVID, Hogsett made us eat in the street in Indianapolis? Look at what we're doing for you. Look at how much we love you. We're going to let you eat. We're going to let you go to your favorite restaurant, but you have to eat in the street. But sir, it's 100 degrees outside. Shut up, peasant. So when the heavy-handed government wants to be in charge of everything, they have no problem doing it. But when they don't, well, we're going to pass a non-binding resolution, and we're going to let the Metropolitan Development Commission decide all this. But we're asking you very nicely, government entity, please don't pass any more data centers. These people are gross. Now this gets even more ridiculous. So last month, the Department of Metropolitan Development proposed, not passed, but proposed to the city council, new regulations on data centers. So ultimately, this special resolution will effectively become defunct if the council approves the proposals made by the Metropolitan Development Commission, which would allow the data centers again. Like, they know. I mean, we covered it. One would assume numerous other media outlets in our city covered it, which is why we covered it. One would assume the city council knows that this commission has this charge in front of them that they're working on, and there's already been an outline of what they're proposing. And they're going to approve, and we had Nick Roberts on a couple weeks ago from the City County Council. He basically said, we're going to approve whatever they put forward. Not his exact words, but that's the gist of it. And I like Nick, but this is lip service. They're not serious about data centers. They're not serious about stopping data centers. And maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe you shouldn't be. Maybe the conversation should be until the state gets its act together and puts parameters around these things and gives us a framework to operate off of, Republican-controlled General Assembly, Republican governor, because, of course, Indianapolis is all Democrats, then we're not going to do anything. Instead, they're doing nothing, and they want to run out and make you think that they did something, because the headline, they believe, many outlets, the headline will be, Indianapolis Council, City Council, approves moratorium on data centers. That's what they want. So this is what's fascinating to me. And Nick Roberts got into this a little bit when he was on our show. We just have time to go deep into it. But this is fascinating. So under state law, in the city of Indianapolis, only the district councilor holds the power to force a public hearing and full council vote on the Metropolitan Development Commission's voting decisions related to zoning. The Department of Metropolitan Development can only have their decisions related to zoning forced to a vote of the council if the home district councilor demands it. That's crazy. Like in towns where I live in Brownsburg, almost all of especially if there's a zoning change or zoning classification change, all the decisions have to go to the town council. But in this case, only if the home councilor of that district, wherever the thing is proposed, that's the only time it gets voted on. And in this case, Ron Gibson, who's the home area counselor for Martindale Brightwood, where this data center was proposed, he was like, yeah, kiss my ass. I'm not doing that. I kind of like this data center. No vote needed. And so it just got approved. Our friend Jesse Brown. Now, we like Jesse Brown, even though he's insane. Jesse Brown's the socialist member, the avowed socialist member of the city county council. He's not. I think Jesse, and Jesse, I love you. I'd say it if he was sitting right here. I've said it right to his face. That's the thing about our show. Anything we say on this camera, if these politicians sit in front of us, we say it right to their face. Jesse, I think, is naively insane about socialism. I think he's well-intended. I think he's well-meaning. I don't think he's evil. I don't think he's awful. I think he's naive to what socialism is and the immense harm it's done. But I've said I like Jesse Brown because he's honest. He is by far the most honest member of the Indianapolis City County Council. He's one of the few people you ask him a question, you get a direct answer, and it don't change based on what room he's in. So he tried to stop the data center last night and got told to sit down and shut up because of this rule that gives Ron Gibson full discretion over whether to allow a vote on this thing or not. So this tells you, I mean, think about this. This tells you how unserious the politicians actually are about data centers. And again, we're not anti-data center. We like data centers. We want them to work for everyone. For the data center people, for the communities. We want everyone to benefit. For our state. Right now, it seems like the data centers are benefiting and no one else. That doesn't work. And so the Indianapolis City County Council showed you last night when they had an opportunity to be serious about data centers and being on the side of the people or giving the people a voice on data centers or giving more strength. I guess that's the thing, more strength. Because it's not even about sides. It's about creating a policy that works for everyone. Right now, it seems totally one-sided. The city council last night had an opportunity to say, okay, the people of this community, Martindale Brightwood, have huge concerns about the data center. They're against it. Let's put it on the floor. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this, what the community is actually getting, what the payoff is, what the payout is, how our lives are going to be bettered. And they said, kiss our ass. The same night that they passed a meaningless moratorium, a non-binding resolution to ban data centers. Everybody's full of it. And this is why people are sick of politics. Because it's just lip service. It's just placating. It's shenanigans. These people aren't serious about anything. At a state level, at a city level, it's like they're playing government. They're playing government at this point. All right. Let me tell you about our friends over at Bramwell Mackay, and then we got some interesting stuff to get into here. Bramwell Mackay, we've been talking about these guys since day one. Leaky chimney, water in your basement, cracks around the exterior of your home. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. Bramwell Mackay doesn't offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons, industry experts, address the root cause. Many of you guys have already had them out to your house. You said, these guys are phenomenal. They are great. They're awesome. Bramwell Mackay has been one of our biggest supporters since day one, since we even came up with the idea. But even before we had an idea, they were like, we love you. We're behind you 100%. Their 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Your home is one of your biggest investments. Treat it that way. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, BramwellMackay.com, your masonry, foundation, and chimney specialists. All right. So there was a big announcement that came down yesterday from the IHSAA. And we talked about this last week on the show, that it could be coming down, and it has. And the IHSAA Board of Directors met yesterday. That's the Indiana High School Athletic Association. And we don't talk a lot of sports on our show, but we do talk about it when it transcends society. And I think in this case, what happened yesterday is going to have a huge impact on society. I don't necessarily think it's going to be for the better. It's one of these things, and I think we talked about this last week, where two things can be true. Where I think the thing somebody did is going to make society worse, but I don't think they had any other option. I don't think they had any other option. And we're also going to, here in just a few moments, we're going to talk about the big announcement for the live show, where you can see us, where we can all get together this summer. So why don't we take a break? Get producer Jason ready over here. Why don't we take a break? We'll get into this huge announcement yesterday from the IHSAA. We'll talk about the live show announcement when we come back. We got a gajillion things to get to. Stick around. All that and more coming up next. You're watching The Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, and I'm here on the Wilson family farm to tell you the truth. Am I allowing China to buy our farmland? No. I'm doing the opposite. I want to kick China's butt, and my record clearly proves it. Some say I'm against Trump. I'm against D.C. insiders trying to scheme away our state and local freedoms. I stand for what is right, regardless of who is in charge in D.C. I stand with you. Do you want a proven leader, a principal, or a political puppet? I ask for your vote on May 5th.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with App Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. We got a big announcement coming up here for you in just a moment. Before we do that, though, new studio. You guys are seeing the new set. Thanks to producer Jason. Ethan Hatcher. Man, those guys kicked ass last night. Again, a reminder, you can hear Ethan Saturday night, 7 to 9 on WIBC Saturday night on The Circle. If you haven't done so yet, really help us out. Hit the thumbs up button. Like our show. Man, that so helps us with YouTube. I know it sounds like a really simple thing, but man, does it help us immensely in terms of growing this program, and we can't do it without you. All right, let's get to the live show. We are doing another live show. And look, guys, Hammer and I, the last live show that we did, that had been in the works for a long time, and obviously a bunch of craziness happened, and we obviously wanted to, go through with that. And man, we just had a blast. Just Hammer and I want to do that show for years, and it sold out, and then it sold out on the sellout, and it sold out on the sellout after that. And man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun to see you guys and meet you guys and hang out. And I mean, gosh, the Mad Hatter and Greenwood, they were just amazing. And I never done something like that. I mean, we've done the live shows with WIBC, but never like what we've done before. And I just had a great time doing it. And so I asked you guys several weeks ago, I said, look, if we got approached about doing another live show, and I said, well, let me ask the audience. Let me see what you guys want to do. And I said, hey, if I do a live show, would you guys be interested in attending as just a way to bring everybody together? Just a fun evening out, an affordable evening out where we can all get together, because I know so many of you guys have become such close friends in the chat. The things you talk about every day, you're kind of like family with each other. And I told Jason, I said, when we got approached about doing a live show, I said, man, if we do this, I want to accomplish a couple things. One, I want it to be a celebration of you guys for an incredible start to this show, helping me get this thing off the air. I want to do, if we do a live show, a way to say thank you to everyone from the bottom of my heart for you guys not giving up on me, for you guys staying with me through everything, for your support when I was gone, and the letters and the emails and the phone calls, and then coming with me over here, and the just outstanding numbers that you guys have done. I said, I want to do this as a tribute to that. So I want to accomplish a couple things if we're going to do it. Number one, I want to make it very affordable. And two, I want to try in an affordable way to meet as many of you guys as possible. And so that was in structuring a live show, my primary goal, a way to say thank you in an affordable fashion so that you guys can meet your friends and hang out and get together, celebrate what we've accomplished as a collective over the first 9 weeks. It'll be much more than 9 weeks by the time we do the live show. And I want an opportunity. It was one of the things, and it was nobody's fault. I just didn't feel like I got a chance to meet enough of you guys the last time. Just didn't feel like I got a chance to say, and I know I got a chance to shake a lot of hands, but I didn't feel like I got a chance to say thank you to enough of you guys who, and you guys are like family to me. So we are doing a live show. We reached, our friends at Mad Hatter reached out to us again, so we'd love to have you back. We're doing a live show at Mad Hatter again. That venue was awesome. June the 27th, Saturday evening. And we are going to set the tickets up to where you can get them now. They're live. By the way, the tickets are live. I've got the link, if you want it, pinned up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. It's pinned up to the top of the feed right now, at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. I've got it on my Facebook page as well. You can just go to madhattershows.com if you want to just get them yourself. It's very easy, madhattershows.com. There's an Indianapolis tab. You can get your tickets there. And we're going to expand the meet and greet this time, basically to anybody in the lower level. Now, look, that place holds about 250 people, as you guys saw that were there the last time. I don't think I can get through 250 meet and greets. But I was insistent upon getting to meet more of you guys this time to say thank you to as many people as possible. So in that VIP this time, which is essentially the lower level, anybody who gets that ticket, we're doing a meet and greet, and I'm going to do it after the show. And the reason I'm doing it after the show is I want to spend time with you guys. Now, we're not going to spend an hour shooting the breeze, but I want to make sure that I get a chance to say thank you to as many of you guys as possible. So we're going to do the meet and greet after the show this time so that I don't want people feeling rushed, maybe like last time. And it was great. It was wonderful, but it gives me an opportunity to say thanks. So have you been, I feel like we're going to accomplish a couple things with this. One, gives you guys a chance to all get together. MadHatterShows.com, June the 27th, Saturday. Gives you guys a chance to finally get together. Gives me an opportunity to say thank you to you guys in person. And if you've been like, how do I support this show? What can I do? We try to throw out little nuggets every now and then, right? Like when the books and the buttons and stuff that are going out. I know you guys aren't like, oh, what an incredible value I'm getting with these books and these buttons. Yes, I'm going to sell them on the open market. No, you guys love us and we love you back. And you're looking for ways to support the show. So if that's you, with this, you're going to get an evening out, an evening of entertainment. Producer Jason's going to be there. We'll talk to him about that during the YouTube comments in a little bit. He may be busting out the guitar, maybe the opening act, the warm-up act. You guys get a chance to meet him too. And then I'll take the stage and we're gonna bring some smoke. We're gonna have some laughs together. We're gonna tell some jokes. We're gonna bring the smoke on our politicians. We'll sort of have a better idea of how November in Indiana is starting to shape up. June the 27th, Mad Hatter Shows. We'll start promoting this, but get those tickets today, guys. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to come back together. We're going to try to make it an even better experience than the one you had the last time. And I just enjoyed the hell out of it. And like I said, we tried to make the tickets super affordable. We want everybody to be able to come. That's our goal. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting us for all this time. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for staying with us. I'm talking about 10 years now, you guys. Some of you have been with me for 10 years. And this will be just our little celebration to say thanks for getting the Rob Kendall Show off the air, on the when I was off the air, then back on the air. So thank you guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys June the 27th. Get those tickets today. All right, let's get into what the IHSAA said yesterday, because it was a historic day in our state. I think the landscape is changing. But before we do that, hey, if you're buying a home or thinking about refinancing, work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homeowners and home buyers alike explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple. Clear advice, personalized guidance, you make the choice. He's going to give you the info. You decide what to do with it. Visit loansbygary.homes. Loansbygary.homes, or call 317-695-5179. 317-695-5179 to learn more and get started today. I mean, guys, you got nothing to lose, right? Except dollars on your mortgage payment. You call Gary, you contact him at loansbygary.homes. Here's what I got going on. He'll take a look at it. He'll crunch the numbers. He'll tell you what he can do for you. If it's better, you're saving money. If it's not, you just say, hey, thanks, Gary. Thanks for supporting Rob. He'll say, hey, thanks for listening to Rob. It'll be a big old thank fest for all of you guys supporting the Rob Kendall Show. Loansbygary.homes. All right, let's talk about what happened with the IHSAA yesterday. And it was a historic day. And I struggled with this last night. I was talking to, I have a very good friend who has been a high school basketball coach, golf coach, for a long time now. And he's AAU, he's coached all the stuff. And so I reached out to him last night. We were talking about this, and he's a traditionalist. And I thought, well, I wonder what his view on this is going to be, because and this guy told me 3 or 4 years ago, he said, Rob, NIL is coming to high school sports you watch. He said it's the next step, and it's going to be a disaster. And so I'd reached out to this person. And I'll tell you what we talked about here in a second. But yesterday, the IHSAA, the Indiana High School Athletic Association Board of Directors, approved name, image, and likeness payouts being possible for high school kids. Now, we talked about this last week on the show. If you missed it, here's the parameters. And the Yahoo had a big write-up. The Star had a big write-up. I pulled this from a couple of different places if you want to read about it. The name, image, and likeness for high school kids is going to be different than what we have seen in college. Primarily that the high school kids cannot use the school or anything related to the school. So if you're the star point guard on the Fishers High School basketball team, You can sell your name, image, and likeness to a car dealer, but you can't use the jersey. You can't use the facilities. You can't use the school name. The school can't coordinate it for you. The payout can't come through the school. Nothing. Now, that's on paper. We'll talk about that in a second, because I think there are some major red flags with this. So it is going to be markedly different than what we've seen with college. And the IHSAA was very cognizant of not wanting what we have seen in college, and they went out of their way to and we talked about this last week. It's an example of, if that train is coming down the tracks, you have two options to decide where the train goes. You can try to hop on that train and try to drive it and direct it, or you can stand in front of the train and get run over. And then the train will eventually stop because it ran you over. Because they got to get out and check and say, what do we do with the carcass? The IHSAA said, based on court rulings that we have seen across this country, and based on what 45 other states have already done, I think Indiana became number 46 yesterday. Yes, it has become 46. We know that if this goes to a court, the courts are going to rule in favor of the student athlete, that they can sell their name, image, and likeness. And so we know that's what's going to happen, whether we agree with it or not. We need to, unlike the NCAA, who refused to get in front of this years ago and made horrible decisions that were petty and small-minded. And once it got to a court, the court said, well, Katie barred the door. It's the Wild West now. And high school sports, or college sports rather, I mean, it's awful. You can't keep track of who's on what team. You can't invest in any players. It changes from one year to the next. It's ridiculous. IHSAA said, we don't want that. So we're going to approve this with certain safeguards in place, certain parameters in place to say, hey, we think this will stand up in a court if we give on this to allow this thing to happen where kids can use their name, image, and likeness. We think our safeguards are more apt to stand up if it gets challenged, and it's less likely to get challenged. So the vote was 13-5. And again, it allowed, and I talked about this last week, things can be true at the same time. I can look at this and say, this is going to be really bad in the long run. And I can also say I'm not mad at the IHSAA because I don't think they had a choice. If you know how a court's going to rule and you just thumb your nose at it or try to put a finger in the eye of something, and you know then the court ruling will likely be worse than what you can put safeguards around, you're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice. They didn't have any other choice. So the kids cannot promote the following things: gambling, alcohol, banned substances. I think firearms are in there. And they can also not be tied to recruitment in order to get an athlete to enroll at a school. I want to come back to that in a second, because I think that is going to be where you're going to run into some real issues. So Paul Neidig, head of the IHSAA, and again, we don't do a lot of sports on this show, but I think this transcends sports. Like, it's the economy, it's high school kids. I think you're going to have an inevitable scandal that's going to take place at some point because of this. So Paul Neidig, the head of the IHSAA, said, it allows students to benefit independently from their school without using school branding or representing school-sponsored endorsements. It creates a clear distinction between the college model and education mission of high school athletes. Okay. So let's talk about where I think the scandal. I was talking with my friend last night who has coached high school basketball, has coached high school golf. And he was like, Rob, this is going to be horrible. He agreed with me. There really probably wasn't a choice from the IHSAA, but he said this is going to be horrible. So let's talk about where the scandal, I think, is going to occur. And it may take a while, and I don't know how you're actually going to catch people, but I think you will. Using NIL to entice a player to transfer schools is supposedly banned as a part of this. I just laid that out, right? They've said, unlike college, you can't pay a kid to come to your school. The problem is, I don't know how you're going to enforce that unless there's some ironclad paper trail or someone squeals. Because the IHSAA has a no questions asked one-time transfer rule for years freshman through junior. So your freshman through junior years, your first 3 years of high school, you can transfer to any school you want, no questions asked. Okay. Now we have NIL as a part of this, where you can also get paid by the local car dealer. How are you going to prove unless there's a paper trail, or who uses paper anymore? Unless there's a digital trail, or the kid squeals, which inevitably I think it will happen, and I think it'll happen a lot before it actually gets caught. How are you going to prove the kid didn't go for the money? Oh, he's the best player in Central Indiana. And I'm just making up schools now. I'm not in any way insinuating this is happening. I'm just picking random schools. He's the best point guard in Central Indiana. And he previously played for Greenwood. And now all of a sudden, he's playing for Fishers. Oh, and it just happens that whatever the biggest car dealer, sorry if you're that in Fishers, he just happened to sign a $20,000 NIL deal. Look, these high schools, I say these high schools, we as taxpayers, the high schools don't have any money. We as taxpayers, by vote of school boards, by force, are spending millions and millions of dollars every year on these athletic facilities. The travel budgets, the uniforms. There's huge money in this. We have 2 football fields where I live. 2. One wasn't good enough. 2. We have 4 field houses. 1 wasn't good enough. We have 4. I was walking around our high school baseball field the other day. I was like, this is better than most minor league parks, the way it's maintained. And it's all over the place in Central Indiana. It's happening everywhere. These schools are spending millions of dollars on these athletic fields because it's supported by the community. And you think and again, I'm sorry, car dealers, I'm not trying to pick on you. It's just the first business that came to mind. Insurance agent, how about that? I'm not trying to pick on the car dealers. We need a car dealer, by the way. If you work for a car dealership, you should tell your boss, or if you run or own a car dealership, you should be sponsoring with us. Think about the ad campaign we could run. We saved Rob from inevitable doom, getting him out of his golf cart. What a great ad. I'm already writing the ad campaign. But you think that these communities with these super fans who are helping sponsor and prop up these millions of dollars in athletic facilities and uniforms and travel and everything else wouldn't pay $20,000 to get some kid, some great quarterback or point guard to come to their school? You're dreaming. And then the next inevitable step becomes the school systems who are so invested in this. You think there's not going to be an athletic director or 2 eventually that's going to be like, hey, Larry, how's that insurance company that you have that, oh, by the way, our school does business with? Right? Or, hey, local hospital that our school does business with, they got the training rights or whatever. Again, I'm not saying any of this is happening. I'm just picking random industries. And everybody be like, Rob was insinuating. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm saying the inevitability of this. When you have mega dollars flowing into school systems, and then you have mega dollars flowing out of school systems, and you have industries that can profit off of the school system. Like, I go back to this. When I was a part of a group that defeated, because there were many people who worked very hard, and I give immense credit to these people who worked their asses off in 2015 to defeat the Brownsburg school referendum. We were funded by ourselves, right? Like, here's 50 of my dollars. Let's go buy some signs. Here's 100 of Sherry's dollars. Let's go buy door hangers. Of course, we didn't have to pay anybody. We walked and did all the work ourselves. We were able to scrounge together like $3,000. The school system had a political action committee that raised tens of thousands of dollars, much of it coming from construction companies or people affiliated with construction companies. Well, why would they do that? Gee, who do you think was going to get the construction contracts if the thing had passed? And it didn't pass, so we'll never know, right? Maybe they were just giving out of the goodness of their heart. Maybe that was what was going down. Maybe those people, but I bet if you check that list, many of them had construction contracts in the past. That's just business, right? It's business 101. That plays out on things you can see on campaign finance reports. If that's playing out on things that people can track and trace, why we're being totally naive to think, I mean, look at what we've seen happen in college. It's going to happen in high school. And again, I'm not mad at the IHSAA. I don't think they had any choice. I think they made the best of a horrible situation. I think the IHSAA was behind the 8 ball. We've seen how the courts are ruling. We have to try to do this, and let's put the safeguards in. But we know this is going to happen, guys. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But we know in the hyper-competitive, sports-crazy environment that we work, that boosters are going to do whatever they can to get these players into their schools. And we know eventually you're going to have some idiot athletic director or principal or superintendent that's going to be a moron and get in bed with these people and be a part of it. It's inevitable. And when it happens, it's like I was talking with my friend last night because he shares all of these concerns that I have about this. And like I said, he's coached these high school kids. He's coached some really good ones. He's coached some really good golfers, too. But he said, look, these kids, many of them, are going to end up getting used. You have a lot of... Look, it's been one of the dangers of college NIL. You have 18, 19-year-olds who have no idea how to manage money. Many of them come from inner cities. They're not taught finances. They come from broken homes. And then you have sharks. You have people who are not invested in the kid, but the university or the sports program, offering boatloads of cash to these kids who aren't getting an education. Now, that's a joke. And many of them, most of them, never make it to the pros. They flame out. So now you've been used, you've been abused, the leeches, the hangers-on have sucked you dry, you don't get an education, and now you're out of sports. That's for 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds who are, by our societal standards, grown-ass men. They're adults. What about kids? How are kids going to handle it? 15, 16-year-olds? You get these guys who, look at this video of this 14-year-old who can do a 360 dunk. Okay, there are some people who have great parents and home lives, and their parents have, business acumen of some sort or college degrees who would be able to handle that. But a lot of these kids, And the predators are going to get to them. As children. Now, I said last week, and I stand by it, I think it'll be few and far between. I don't think you're going to see, for the most part, anything but the tippy-top guys, especially because they can't use the uniform. I mean, I'm sorry, nobody knows who the sixth man is on the high school basketball team, for the most part. If that's you, God bless you. I never made it to sixth man. So you're better than me. But nobody knows who that is. Now, you might have some local businesses who just want to help out, whatever, right? The big payouts are going to be few and far between. The big corporate dollars are going to be very scarce. But you're going to see kids get taken advantage of. You're going to see kids get abused in this process. And I was talking with my buddy about this last night, and I said, one of the things that I struggle with is a connection to nostalgia. Right? Like, I love old things. I love the past. I love the way things used to be. And as I've gotten older, as I've entered my 40s, I've tried to be cognizant that your past is not ever coming back. Like, as much as you may want it to come back, it's not ever coming back. You can't redo what was done. And I think sometimes we struggle with, well, am I just being some sort of nostalgia-driven, get off my lawn old man who yells at clouds, versus am I having a well-thought-out approach to this? Am I really thinking it through? Am I really working for the betterment of society with my positions or my community, or the betterment of my community, or all of us as a collective? And so I try to be cognizant of that. In this case, I don't think this is going to end well. I don't think high school kids, even the ones with the most stable of home environments, are equipped to be hawking merch and products and everything else. And I think a lot of kids who don't have a stable home life are going to get really abused. Hey, here's a simple test most homeowners have never tried. After your next hot shower, set a timer for 10 minutes. You guys should do this. It's amazing. If your mirror's still fogged up after that, your bathroom fan isn't doing its job. So just, you take a shower, you get done, set the timer for 10 minutes, boom, go back. It dings, go back and see. If it's still foggy, it's not doing its job. And if it's not doing its job, that moisture is hanging around in places it shouldn't. Your walls, your ceiling, even your attic. That's where bigger problems start. Vent Savvy specializes in fixing things the right way. Go to ventsavvy.com, VENTSAVVY, and see if your fan is working the way it should. Do that test. Let me know how it goes tomorrow. That's your homework in a YouTube chat. Do that 10-minute test. Let us know how it went. All right, one other thing that I thought was interesting, like with this IHSA board of directors, they met yesterday. And look, high school basketball, you guys know this. It used to be king in Indiana. And it sucks what they've done to high school basketball. Talk about not being an old fuddy-duddy. I know this is not being a fuddy-duddy because nobody goes to the damn games anymore. It used to be you couldn't get a ticket to your local high school basketball game. Now it's like 10 people there. They have killed high school basketball in the state with the getting rid of the single class system. There was no reason to get rid of it. I get it with football, right? Like you can't have Ben Davis playing Cascade. You can't have Warren Central playing Tri-West. Somebody get killed. But high school basketball, how many times over the years do we see little schools? Because all you got to do is have 5 guys. And there are rules. You can't tackle people. The high school basketball going to the multi-class system was about everybody, a society where the public education system wanted everyone to have a trophy. Congratulations, you participated. But I thought this from the moment they did this when I was a kid. They flipped this when I was a kid. I thought, what are you winning? We're admitting you weren't as good as someone else, but we gave you a trophy? Well, what the hell does that mean to somebody? Like, let's face it. If you won one of the lower class state championships when Greg Oden was at Lawrence North in the early and mid 2000s, does anybody in their right mind think anybody would have beaten Lawrence North? No. Hey, I was the 3A state champion. Congrats. Shove it up your backside. You weren't the best team in the state. So what's it really mean? And they have done, that has really destroyed high school basketball. Needlessly, right? It was one of the great things we had. It defined Indiana. And one of the reasons football is so big now is there was a void left to be the sport. There was a void left to be the sport because high school basketball imploded on itself. Something interesting did happen yesterday, though, with high school basketball. The IHSAA Board of Directors voted against the 35-second shot clock. How about that? A little tradition remains here in the state of Indiana. Now, what was interesting about this, there was just one vote in favor of this by the Board of Directors, 17 against. What was interesting about this is the split on who wanted it and who didn't. The high school coaches were polled overwhelmingly. 68% of high school coaches surveyed wanted it. But only 24% of administrators. This was what was interesting and it was funny. The administrators were against it because they were going to have to pay to implement it. The coaches were like, yeah, let's get this game moving. This is boring. Bobby Plump is not coming out of that locker room. No more holding the ball for 9 minutes. No more 22-23 scores. Let's get going. The administrators that were like, hey, we got to pay for this. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the score, the shot clock. And they estimated the cost was going to be $10,000 to implement. Plus, and this is going to be the real downside, you got to pay somebody to run the clock. So not only do we as schools have to pay $10,000 to implement this thing, we've got to pay every single game for somebody to run a shot clock, and that gets really expensive. So the minister said, nah, we're not doing that. There were also concerns about running the clock, resetting the clock, etc. So I feel like we're the lone show in central Indiana who did a recap of the IHSAA Board of Directors meeting. We promised you we're going to stay local. Even though we got that extra hour, we're committed to being local. Speaking of which, let's take a break. When we come back, Rod Bray was on the head of the Indiana Senate, the head of the Republicans in the Senate, leader of the Senate. was on CNN yesterday, and he got asked about if he regrets redistricting in light of all the challengers and money that's come into our state. What he said was fascinating. I hate that I got to give Rod Bray props for something, but in this case, I think he said exactly the right thing. We'll talk about it when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, representing the Wabash Valley by listening and never compromising our shared values. That's why I'm the only Senate candidate endorsed by Indiana Right to Life, the NRA, Indiana Realtors, professional firefighters, and the Indiana Farm Bureau. These endorsements are from the good people from Indiana and for Indiana, a sign of trust that I have built and results that you can count on. I'm Senator Greg Good, and I respectfully ask for your vote in the Indiana Republican primary.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan, ceilings, or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434, and mention Rob for a free attic inspection.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for being with us. Of course, we had the big announcement last segment. We're bringing back the live show June the 27th. Mad Hatter shows in Greenwood. Tickets are now available. And look, we're doing this as a celebration of you guys. An opportunity for everyone to get together, an evening of fun, to say thanks for being just an amazing, amazing part of helping me grow this program. We couldn't do it without you. I consider you guys to be family. And so we got approached after the success of the last show. about doing another show and said, well, if we do it, again, we want to do it as a celebration to you guys, our audience. We want to make it affordable, and I want to meet as many of you as I possibly can. That's what we're doing. June the 27th, Mad Hatter again in Greenwood. They were thrilled to death to have us back. Get your tickets. MadHatterShows.com. MADHATTER shows.com. There's an Indianapolis tab there. You can find it, calendar, etc. Or I've got the link right now pinned up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. I've got it on my Facebook feed as well. You can get the link, get those tickets, and all the VIP people this time. And the VIPs had a great experience last time. We're not charging any extra for the meet and greet. If you're in that lower level, and it's a lot more tickets this time, if you're in that lower level, the meet and greet is going to be a part of it. I'm going to shake as many hands and meet as many of you as I can, and we're doing the meet and greet after the show this time. We're doing the meet and greet after the show, so we're not rushed. We get a chance to meet as many of you guys as I can. Producer Jason will be there. It's going to be a great time. And so we'd be so honored. If you've been thinking about hey, what's something I can do for the show? This would be great. Just seeing you on Saturday, June 27th. Saturday, June 27th, Mad Hatter Shows in Greenwood. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be a great evening. We'll tell some jokes, have some laughs. We'll bring the smoke. We'll talk about all the things. And like I said, guys, just a great opportunity to go out and have some fun, get together, spend an evening together, see all these people you've been chatting with in the YouTube feed at a very affordable price, especially now. All right, let's get to Rod Bray yesterday on CNN. This was fascinating to me. Look, I loathe Rod Bray. I despise Rod Bray. Rod Bray is the pro tem of the Senate, leader of the Senate. He has been a colossal pain in the ass of taxpayers. So I'm not a Rod Bray fan. I'm not saying this in any sort of defense of Rod Bray. I'm not any of that. What I am doing is saying that he went on CNN yesterday, and the great thing about our show, guys, is we can call balls and strikes. We're not on anybody's side. We're not on anybody's team. We're not... we get to look at every issue on its own, every issue by itself, every issue as its own thing, and then tell you what we think about it. Because we're beholden to you, not the politicians. And I do this all the time. There are politicians I can't stand, but if they get something right, if they say the right thing or do the right, heaven forbid, do the right thing, we're gonna tell you about it. We're gonna say, look, this guy got it right. And so Rod Bray went on CNN and said he has no regrets about how he did redistricting. And, of course, this sort of formulates out of or comes out of the fact that Trump got mad. Trump, obviously then puts together this team of this team concept with Turning Point USA. They recruit all these candidates, and they're running on getting rid of Rod Bray as the leader of the Senate, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Now, I think we're all being naive if we think things are just suddenly going to change if, say, Chris Garton gets in there as the head of the Senate. It's the institution itself that's broken. The people in it are broken as well, but the institution itself is broken, and I don't think you're going to see much change. But Trump would be happy because this is what this is about. It's about fighting for Trump. And so Bray got asked about if he regrets not going along with Trump. Would have saved him all the hassle of all these primary challenges, potentially losing his job as the head of the Senate. And to his credit, he said, quote, "It is what it is." And he has, quote, "no regrets." And I was watching this going, I can't stand this guy, but I got to hand it to him. Because he is facing immense adversity right now. He's running the risk of potentially losing his job as the leader of the Senate. In 2 years, he could potentially lose his job as a senator because I'm sure they'll primary him, which will be good. It's great. And he's on there going, I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought it was the right thing to do. Now, Bray said something that was just amazing to me. By the way, what do you think of the new background? Let me know what you think of the new backdrop. We're still working on it, still a work in progress, a lot of things left to do, but got a lot accomplished this year. I got to get a new chair. This chair is brutal. It's brutal. It's killing me. Going to have to go see my chiropractor, Dr. Joel, here pretty soon. It's not good. But I'm willing to suffer for you guys. Anyway, Bray went on CNN last night, and he claimed, this is an amazing number, $9 million has been spent for the 9 Senate races with money from outside the state of Indiana. $9 million on 9 Senate races from money outside the state of Indiana. That's an incredible amount of money. The question is why? This is the question I keep asking. If the goal is to win the 1st congressional district, if that was the goal, why not spend the money up there? Like they were only going to be able to, and Bray touched on this, and he's right. There was no guarantee they were going to be able to redistrict that district to go Republican, especially not in a Democrat year. And then if you redistrict and you don't get the votes, that's all for naught. And now you've made a bunch of the other districts conceivably competitive. Okay, you got rid of Carson. But what if there's... You rotten bastard.
I asked you what you wanted.
Producer Jason left. I thought he was going to the bathroom or something. He comes back with his arms full of McDonald's. Unbelievable. There's a McDonald's right next to our studio. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't worry about that. Anyway, go on, enjoy your food. It's fine. By the way, if you take a trip with producer Jason of any length, you will have no fewer than 5 stops at primarily McDonald's, because he loves the McDonald's colas. We'll ask him about that when we do the YouTube comments later today. $9 million from outside money. Why are people spending from outside our state inside of our state? Hey, have you asked yourself that? Why would some guy from Arizona give money to a state Senate race in Indiana? Hey, I get if it's Congress, right? Why would someone spend that amount of money? It doesn't pass the smell test. And if the goal was to win the 1st congressional district, which the Republicans have told us for years is in play in a swing district, it's not, but that's what they've lied and told us because they wanted people's money. Then why not spend it there? Why not recruit a really good candidate, put all this money behind them, and if people are happy with Republican governance, they'll vote for the Republican. The dirty, rotten secret about all of this is the Republicans know people aren't happy with Republican governance. The Republicans win in this state because the Democrats are so bad. I'm going to read you a stat here in a little bit about how people are feeling about Republicans and Democrats. They hate everyone. They really hate the Republicans. They almost hate the Democrats as much, and it may save the Republicans from a complete bloodbath this fall. But we're not about getting better government. This isn't even about more Republicans. Trump has lost all interest in that 1st congressional district. Trump's squirrel, right? Look, boom. Oh, this guy, I hate him today. We're going to go after him. And then you have these Turning Point USA bros who parachute in, who are completely ridiculous. I mean, they had a rally. They had a rally for Brenda Wilson over the weekend. Somebody who was in attendance told me about this. They had a rally for Brenda Wilson. She's that chick in Terre Haute. And the person told me there were like 7 people there, and they were almost all affiliated with Turning Point or the campaign. These Turning Point people have not produced any enthusiasm whatsoever. And then they do the things now, like I saw this the other day. I've been knocking on doors for an hour, and I've flipped 10 votes. No, you haven't. You can't even get 10 people to answer the door. I know. I've done it. I've worked for a Senate campaign. By the way, I love Marlon Stutzman was weighing in on how many of these Senate races are going to flip. And I was like, man, if anybody knows how to lose a Senate race, it's Marlon Stutzman. Hey-o! You're not flipping 10 people. Someone might have. I'm not even sure you get 10 people to open a door in an hour, especially on a weekday. But if you get 10 people to open the door, they might tell you whatever you want to hear to get you off their lawn. But it's like, it has become these turning point bros it is social media culture playing out in our election system now, in our government system. And this is what brings me great concern. If these people get in, it's going to empower these turning point bros. Look, if these guys lose, they're going to get out of our state and never come back. We'll never have to see them or hear from them ever again. If they win, they're going to get emboldened. But in terms of actual enthusiasm, Turning Point USA has been parachuted into our state for the better part of 7 months now. They produced zero enthusiasm for redistricting. Their rallies were a disaster. They've produced zero enthusiasm for the campaigns. And yet there is a chance that a lot of these incumbents will lose because, people are pissed off about our state. Not because anything Turning Point or Scott Pressler did, but because people are just pissed off at property taxes and utility bills and the tolling and the corruption. But we're not going to fix that because these people aren't running on anything. It was actually about fixing the government. People look at, and this is, where's the stat here? I'm going to try to find it real quick. It's another story I was going to do. But, The Hill had a fascinating article about where the midterms are at right now. They're trying to kind of read the tea leaves and see where the midterms are at right now. And I think it was an Economist YouGov poll. Roughly 55% of voters view the GOP unfavorably, but 53% feel the same way about Democrats. People hate everyone. They know they're getting screwed. They know they're getting screwed by both sides. They don't even want to have to vote for the Democrat. They probably will in many cases. But if the Republicans were offering people anything, it wouldn't be close. The Democrats are run by crazy people, insane crazy people. And if the Republicans were offering anything, you could go up there and win that first congressional district. But Republicans in Washington have not fixed inflation, which we'll talk about here in a second, and how people are feeling about inflation. They haven't gotten prices under control. The economy is in bad shape. The gas price stuff is really, really starting to piss people off. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And in Indiana, look at the assessments that came out. You think people are happy when they go vote today? You think people are like, damn, these people are doing a hell of a job running our state. Look at those assessments that are going to raise my property taxes by $300, $400, $500. Look, I give Rod Bray a lot of credit. I don't like the guy. I can't stand the guy. He's been a huge detriment to what we tried to accomplish in Indiana. But he's never wavered on redistricting. And he just showed zero regret yesterday. He's like, hey, I did it. If it cost me my job, cost me a job. Whatever. We probably need more of that in our government. I still can't stand Rod Bray, though. Hey, guys, it's spring. You're probably getting outside, doing that yard work for the first time, taking a look around the house. If you take a look at your driveway, your patio, are you seeing cracks, breaks? Is it coming apart? Look, that can happen over time. Thaw, road salts, mold, dirt. It can all cause damage to your concrete structures outside. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the experts. Clean, seal, stain professionals. They can bring that concrete back to life. Don't be the eyesore of the neighborhood. Go to sealnow.com. SEALNOW.com. Not only are you going to get a free estimate for whatever your project is, and by the way, they do more than just concrete. They do decks, fences, pergolas, any exterior concrete or wood structure that needs cleaned or maintained. Not only at sealnow.com can you see the work they've done with other people that'll give you an idea of how your project might end up looking, but you can also get a free estimate on what your project's going to cost. Tell them what you want to do. They'll lay it out for you, no surprises. And then on top of that, if you mention our show, Rob Kendall Show, you're going to get 20% off any long-term sealing project. Just go to sealnow.com. Tell me you heard about them on the Rob Kendall Show. Okay, let's talk about the stuff that the Hill had, because I think this is very interesting. Oh, let's do gas prices first. Oh, my gosh. Capital Chronicle had a big article about this. By the way, we're switching some things up this week because of Election Day being today. We're going to tape with Nikki Kelly tomorrow. That'll air on Thursday. State House happenings, also, we pushed that back a day so that we could record, that we'd have the election results and be able to process all those. So we're scheduled a little bit off here at the new studio, other things going on. Just needed to we needed to make sure we had a place for people to come. That was our first goal. And then we'll get back on a regular schedule next week. Okay, so the Capitol Chronicle had a big article about gas prices. AAA reported Indiana's average gas cost Monday was $4.81. $4.81 compared to, and this is what's pissing people off, $3.79 a week ago. So you already have a gas price that's pissing people off. It had gone way up. It had come down a little bit. People are like, and look, I was trying to do the producer Jason way of, let's give Trump the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he'll blow all these Iranians to smithereens and we'll all hold hands and live in a peaceful world and gas will go back down to $3 a gallon. I've given it 2.5 months, dude. I'm out of time.
Vietnam.
Wasn't there a song? I'm out of touch. I'm out of time. Wasn't that Hall & Oates? That's me. You're out of touch. That's my message to Trump. You're out of touch. You're out of time. People are pissed off at $3.79 gas. Now it's $4.81. Look, in California and some of these other liberal states where wages are higher, I guess you can absorb it. Wages ain't higher here. Our wages suck. And we're paying some of the highest gas in the country now. Because the average gas price across the country, AAA clocked it in at $4.46 a gallon. So our wages are lower and we're paying higher prices. Recipe for disaster. So gas in Indiana is $1.02 higher than it was a week ago. Gas across the country, 38 cents higher than it was a week ago. Diesel, by the way, sitting at $5.64 a gallon. Nationwide, the average for a gallon of gas was $4.10 a month ago. Last year at this time, $3.16. And what's pissing people off, just like it did with Biden, this is all caused by us, our politicians. There's some stuff with the massive spike with the refineries, okay? But the initial increase in gas, the core of it, right? The base of this that's causing all this was caused by Trump and the Republicans not doing anything about this. Okay? Like I want Trump to succeed. I want him to do well. But I have an obligation to tell you he's really screwed this up. And where he's really screwed this up is he is not laying out what's in it for us. And now they're trying to get cute with the War Powers Act. And that's pissing people off. Have you guys heard this? Where they're trying to now say, because you have a president has 60 days before he has to go to Congress and ask for permission to continue the engagement. You have 60 days. That's why the airstrikes never qualify. Boom in, boom out. Trump, because he paused the military engagement for a ceasefire, is now trying to come back because they're coming up on the 60 days. I think they're past it now. And they're trying to say, well, that doesn't count because since April 7th, we've had a ceasefire. You've had a ceasefire since April 7th and things haven't gotten any better. What are we doing during this ceasefire? Because my gas just seems to keep getting more expensive. That's really pissing people off. The fact that now they're trying to get cute and go, well, it doesn't count. We don't have to ask you guys for permission. You should want to ask for permission. Everybody knows we're there. Everybody knows we're doing it. Shouldn't you want to get permission from the government that has to fund it, the United States Congress? Gas is $1. What is this? Like $1.70 more expensive here in Indiana than it was a year ago. Oil is the most expensive. Bent crude is the most expensive it's been since Biden let Russia invade Ukraine. Remember, Biden caused all of that in 22 because Grandpa couldn't keep his mouth shut and basically told Putin, you go in, I'm not going to do anything about it. $114.90 a barrel. At some point, no matter how much you love Trump, I know there's a lot of people out there that do. I want Trump to succeed. I don't love Trump. I want him to succeed because I want our country to succeed. At some point, you have to say out loud, even as the hardest of Trump supporter, this is a disaster because there's no perceived benefit. What are we doing? The Iranians, unless you take out the regime and put a new regime in, and how puppet regime's gone for the United States, not great. They're going to hate us. Whatever psychopath we leave in there is going to hate us. And it may take them 5 years, but we'll be right back where we were before. What are we getting out of this? It doesn't make you anti-American. It doesn't make you never Trumper. It doesn't make you suffering from TDS. To ask, what am I getting out of this? What's in it for me? I'm asked to financially sacrifice. What am I getting out of it? That has not been laid out to the American people. At least with Iraq, they lied and said Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons. At least they, put some effort into it. Here, we're not getting any of that. We're not hearing anything about what's in it for us. And the fact that this has been in a ceasefire since April 7th and there appears to be no progress, it's starting to tell a lot of people that Trump may be headed for every other president save for the first Bush that's tried to get involved in the Middle East. Just bogged down BS. Every time we get involved with these lunatics, we end up paying more for stuff. We end up paying more for gas, and nothing ever changes. Bunch of money out of our pockets, more debt, more spending, nothing gets any better. I'm sick of it. And Trump's April 7th, that's a month. What's been going on? If we've been in a ceasefire, why isn't this solved? I thought Trump was the greatest negotiator in the world. Sucks. I hate. I had to get gas this morning. I hate it. It makes me sick when I see that thing moving. It's gross. Hey, maybe you're like, I just want to get the hell out of this country altogether. I don't know where you'd go. But whether you want to get out of our state, out of the country, around the corner, or all points in between. Lauren Wilson, realtor at Properties. Buying or selling a home. Biggest investment many people will ever make. Do it with someone who cares about you. Not just invested in the home sale. Not just invested in getting you to sign on a dotted line so they can get a commission. Someone who wants to put you in the right house for you or sell your house at the right price. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. She'd love the opportunity to get to meet you. Lauren's been great to us, guys. Get to know her. That would really help us out. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Put a plan in place for when you do decide to sell your home. She's been great to us. She's been a huge supporter of our show. She's really stepped up. Get to know Lauren Wilson. Just give her a call, 317-590-2290. Okay, let's talk about this interesting breakdown the Hill had in terms of where the midterms are right now. I'm doing my best Marco Rubio impersonation here. Remember that? Remember when Rubio gave the, what was that, like the response to the State of the Union? And he's like parched and he's chugging water during it. It is getting hot in here, by the way. Do we have a... We got lights. I'm going to bring a... Is there a fan I could bring in of some sort? I mean, I don't care. It's not like I'm going to keel over dead. I mean, I hope not.
Can you hear that?
I don't know. Can you hear that? Let's see. Let's see if it pulls up on the meters. This is some great podcasting right here. Let's see if that fan's picking up. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Can you guys hear that? Let Jason know in the YouTube if you can hear that fan. It doesn't have to be that high. I mean, you got like it on turbocharge there. It doesn't have to be that high. We brought the fan in. Jason has these little baby fans. They're amazing. We can talk about it with Jason here in a little bit. Oh, that's better. That's good. Just a little breeze. I mean, I drive a car that barely has air conditioning, so it's not that big a deal, right? Like I'm worried when the air conditioner's on, the engine's going to overheat. But Jason has bought these fans for our camera because the camera can overheat. And he's put the fans on the camera, and they're little baby fans, but they've got USB ports on them. They're amazing. Livy had one similar to this when she was a little baby that you could put on her stroller or whatever. Technology is incredible. Things you can find now that just never used to exist. Anyway, let's talk about this article from The Hill. They had an article out about where the midterms are. Like they're trying to predict what is going to happen this fall. And this was very interesting to me because they sorted through a whole bunch of different polls. Like they said, okay, here's what the different polls are saying. Let's take all of these polls, let's put them together, and let's try to get a vision of where the midterms may be going. And one of the things you realize is that Trump is a massive burden on Republicans right now, which is crazy because he was the reason a bunch of people won in 24. Like it's just in less than 2 years, the whole thing is flipped upside down. Trump, in the Real Clear Politics average, is 16 points in the negative. That's really bad. Like the party in power generally struggles even if the president's kind of neutral. You usually got to have a really popular president to elevate your party in the midterms. Trump is 16 points, and when you take all the polls and put them together, the Real Clear Politics average has him 16 points underwater. That means your ultimate closer, your ultimate go-getter, if you're the party in power, the president, is going to have a hard time sealing the deal for candidates this year because he can't go out and say, well, do this to help me. Like, remember in 2002, Bush went out and was like, hey, we got to get this national security thing under control. We need, Senator A, B, and C. And he was able to close. When the president can't close, it makes it really hard to win elections. And you got to figure out, do you run against the president? Because the big problem for the Republicans is going to be there are so many voters that are only Trump voters. If you publicly, like when people were running against Bush at the end, right? Screw that guy. He's awful. People were running against Obama. Like that's the inevitable thing that happens. The problem with Trump, there's so many only Trump voters that if you say anything remotely negative about him, they won't show up to vote. How the Republicans handle Trump being unpopular is going to be very interesting. Trump's average on inflation, 39% underwater. This is going to be the biggest problem for Republicans is that Trump is so unpopular on the issue he was elected on. I don't know how you're going to be able to say, you can't say prices are better. I mean, Trump can say whatever he wants. He's not up for re-election again. He can put whatever he wants on Twitter. People feel it. They shop. They see it. You can't. It's not an inanimate object. It's not something happening in another state. It's not something happening at the border that you don't see. People shop, guys. They buy stuff. You can't. It's why Biden's argument was flat. We were saying it during the election in 24. It's like Kamala can't lie her way out of this because people shop every day. They pay for stuff. They experience their own life. The economy's bad. You can't be scratching a 30% approval level on the issue you were elected on and expect that people are going to want to go out and vote for you or the people you're propping up. In an Economist YouGov poll last week, according to The Hill, respondents were asked what the most important political issue was. Inflation and prices were overwhelmingly number one, 27%. You are wildly unpopular on the overwhelmingly number one issue. I don't know how you're going to overcome that. Jobs in the economy came in second with 14%, and he's unpopular on those too. So the Republicans hitched their wagon to Trump because there's so many people who only vote for Trump, and the Republicans are, they're fraudsters, right? They're shapeshifters. They're just awful, these House and Senate people. And now they're stuck on Trump, and you can't back out of it because if you do that, you're going to lose the people who are only Trump. Well, then if you keep those people and you say Trump's great, you're going to piss off the people in the middle. So I mentioned this earlier. The one thing that's working in the Republicans' favor, people hate the Democrats almost as much as the Republicans. 55% of voters view the GOP unfavorably. 53% feel the same way about the Democrats. The Republicans are so lucky that the Democrats are so bad. Like if the Democrats were normal mainstream people, like if that was the face of their party, like if that dude who's the governor in Kentucky or the guy who's the governor in Pennsylvania, if that was the face of the party, they'd be gangbusters this year. Record numbers of seats potentially. But the Democrats are so crazy and they make crazy people the face of the party and they do silly stuff like these No Kings rallies that the Republicans actually are still in the game, which is why Republicans win in this state because people can't vote for Democrats. However, Real Clear Politics shows Democrats with a roughly 5-point edge right now on the generic ballot. Now, that's good for Democrats. It should be much better. Voter enthusiasm, advantage Democrats. This is a big deal. 79% of Democrats said they were absolutely certain to vote compared to only 72% of Republicans. When you factor that number in with the independents turning against Trump, that's not good. That means the Democrat people are definitely going to show up to vote. A lot of Republicans won't, and the independents are not going to break for Trump and the Republicans like they have in the past. 84% of Democrats say they're very motivated to vote, very motivated or extremely motivated. 74% of Republicans felt the same way. The extremely motivated people, that's a key number because that's the door knockers. That's the yard signs. That's the people standing out at the polls. That's getting my neighbors to go vote. All of the enthusiasm is on the side of the Democrats. Now, maybe Trump, look, Lady Luck has been a huge part of Donald Trump's entire life. The guy has always done his best work with his back up against the wall. I've never seen anybody like it. He's one of the most interesting, amazing people in American history. He is on the Mount Rushmore of most interesting people in our nation's history. And Trump, throughout his business life and his political life, has always done his best work when everyone counts him out and his back's up against the wall. So, all that being said, as they said in Animal House, nothing is over until we decide it's over. Trump has still every opportunity to pull the rabbit out of his hat. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't see inflation getting any better. Math does not work for him on this one. But who knows? We'll see what happens. All right, let's take another break. When we come back, interesting poll on how young people, because remember, Trump did so well with young people, especially young men, in 2024. And people were like, are young people finally starting to come to the Republicans? There's a new poll out about how young people feel about the economy. And we've got data on early voting in the state of Indiana. And I want to talk about the American worker. I want to talk about the American worker when we come back, because I think the American worker's in big trouble, and I think they're finally starting to wake up to it. We'll talk about all that and more when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
I'm State Senator Greg Good, and I'm here on the Wilson family farm to tell you the truth. Am I allowing China to buy our farmland? No. I'm doing the opposite. I want to kick China's butt, and my record clearly proves it. Some say I'm against Trump. I'm against D.C. insiders trying to scheme away our state and local freedoms. I stand for what is right, regardless of who is in charge in D.C. I stand with you. Do you want a proven leader, a principal, or a political puppet? I ask for your vote on May 5th.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with App Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
I'm Doug Cobb for Clay County Commissioner. I'm running to bring transparency back to our local government. As a concerned citizen, I want to know what's going on. We need new and fresh ideas for today's challenges. We need a vision for future generations. As a small business owner, I want to explore and promote opportunities to make us all successful. Let's create a brighter future for Clay County together. I'm Doug Cobb, running for Clay County Commissioner, and I approve this message. Paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Hi, I'm John Piper. I'm running for Congress in Indiana. I'm the only candidate in the United States of America exposing the crisis we have in mother's breast milk. Purdue University is a major player in that. Purdue is selling our veterinarians to out-of-state corporations for big money. Bobby Kennedy needs to know about it effective immediately. We are 55,000 veterinarians short across the United States. My two major opponents, Craig Haggard and Jim Barrett, are both protecting the Iranian terror cell in Plainfield, Indiana. I'm John Piper. I approve this message. Paid for Friends for Piper for Congress.
Rob Kendall Show. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget, you can find us. I'm on Twitter, at Rob M. Kendall. I don't promote that enough, do I? At Rob M. Kendall. We talk a lot of the stuff that we talk about here on the show. We keep them going, conversations going throughout the course of the day. And speaking of at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter, I've got the link pinned up there. The live show is coming back. Live show, June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club in Greenwood. We had such a great time there. The last time you guys said, hey, we want to have another one. We're doing this show as a tribute to you guys. Say thank you to all of you who have been just such a huge part of growing the Rob Kendall Show. And we're doing this because you guys said you wanted it. So don't make me look bad to the Mad Hatter people. No, you guys have been awesome and a great chance for trying to make this just an affordable way of everybody to get together and hang out and have a good time. And one of the things we're doing, I was very adamant about, is I want to try to shake as many hands as I possibly can, meet as many of you guys as I possibly can, to say thank you for just being incredible friends over the years. Even many of you I've never met, I consider you to be great friends. And so this is a great way for us to do it. Everybody on that lower level this time, going to be a meet and greet. We're going to meet and greet after the show. So we'll do the show. Jason's going to be there playing some tunes, I think. And then I'll be up there doing my thing, and it'll be fun. And you guys will be able to get together and hang out and meet each other. Some of you guys will meet for the first time. Been conversing for a long time. And then afterwards, we'll have the meet and greet. And my goal is to meet as many of you guys as I possibly can. That's why we open that whole lower level up to the meet and greet this year. And if you've been thinking, like, what's a great way I can support the show? This will be it. Get yourself a ticket. Get 2 tickets. Get 10 tickets. And we'll see you June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club in Greenwood, as a way to say thanks to all of you who have supported the Rob Kendall Show. And man, look, if you're on the fence, ask somebody who went to the last show. We had a frickin' blast. It was so much fun. That's why we agreed to do it again when the Mad Hatter people reached out, and they were like, because they wanted us to do a second show the last time. They sold so many tickets. And I was like, man, I've never done this before. What if I stink at comedy? I mean, I'm just ripping on myself, right? But like, what if I stink at it? And they were like, no, it's going to be great. And so we kind of wish we'd done the second show. And so I said, well, this one went so well in lieu of us doing a second show. How about if we do a show in a few months? That'd be great. So anyway, get your tickets, guys. And by the way, yes, it'll be myself, right? It's an evening with Rob Kendall, and producer Jason will be there as well, and we'll have a blast. We'll do it all together. Hey, bunch of different stuff to talk about here, but before we do, I want to thank our friends at Bramwell Mackay. Masonry color mismatch, previous repair catching your eye, not happy with the brick color in your home, ready for a total makeover. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants offer specialized masonry staining and recoloring. Whether you want to seamlessly blend repairs or completely transform your home's exterior, you want to build something new? Bramwell Mackay's 40-year master masons design and construct custom patios, sidewalks, outdoor summer kitchens, archways, entryways, and more. Bramwell Mackay, beauty built to endure. BRAMWELLMCKAY.com. Couple of other things, guys. If you haven't done so yet, help us out. Hit the thumbs up button. You guys have been great about that. That really does help us. I know it seems like a weird, small request, but it really does help us with the YouTube people, with the algorithm. So hit that thumbs up button, like our feed, share our feed. We are totally beholden to you guys growing this program for us. We can't do it without you. And so that means we got to blast out. We do have our billboard, thanks to our friend John Rust. We do have that, which is awesome. John Rust, and by the way, our third hour, the third additional hour. I don't know if we want to say now the 9 to 10 hours, the additional hour, or if since we were doing 2 hours, this is our third hour. Whatever way you want to look at it, the third hour, thanks to John Rust for helping us out and allowing us to do this third hour. It means a lot to us. John has been a huge supporter of what we're doing, and we just can't thank him enough. So again, we call it like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up, share the feed out to your friends, Twitter, Facebook, however you're getting the word out, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. By the way, if you're on the Apple or Spotify, if you're listening to us, if you're not a visual person, that's okay. Welcome. We love you guys too. All of our Apple and Spotify, tons of people over there as well. I feel like those people kind of get ignored. So if you're Apple or Spotify or any of the podcasting platforms, people, thank you for that. We are indebted to you. We're grateful for you. And if you can, share our feed there. Let people know, hey, I'm listening to Rob on the Apple, on the Spotify, on demand. Leave us a 5-star review. Those little things, they go a long way helping us grow this program. All right, so I've been thinking about this. Last Friday was what they call International Workers' Day. And in our country, we don't celebrate International Workers' Day. We celebrate it as Labor Day. It's basically the same thing, right? It's a tribute. It's a thank you. It's a day off to celebrate work in our country. And across the world, most countries celebrate International Workers' Day. Like I said, we do it in September as Labor Day, but May the 1st for most people. And I've been reading a lot. Like, I get down rabbit holes. I don't know if you guys are this way. Like, I get down rabbit holes. I hear something or see something, and then you just end up spending 20, 30 minutes, like somewhere you never started. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. And you got to be real careful, right? Because you wake up, or you look up, and you're like, damn, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. Where did the last 3 hours go? And I ended up in a rabbit hole the other day reading about a famous workers' rights advocate by the name of Joe Hill. And it got me. Joe Hill was a cartoonist. He was a songwriter. He was a worker. He was an immigrant, and Sweden, and really played a huge role in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s in the workers' rights movement, and traveled the country, was all over the country. Ultimately, just an unbelievable end to the life of Joe Hill. He was shot, and very shortly thereafter convicted of murder, and was given the death sentence. And a lot of people now believe today, many books have been written about it, that he was framed, that he was falsely accused, that he didn't do it. It's part of the American lore. But anyway, I got reading a lot about him. And if you've never read about Joe Hill, he's a fascinating character in American history. Wait until noon, but do a little deep dive. Look into the guy. It's very interesting life, a fascinating conclusion to his life. But I got to thinking about the workers in our country and where the workforce is at, where workers are at, where our corporations are at, and what the workforce or the work or the labor movement in our country is even going to look like in not 10 years, but even 5 years, with artificial intelligence, with electronics taking over everything. And I feel like over the past really 30 years, maybe more than even that now, I mean, Ross Perot was talking about this when he was running for president. So that was more than 30 years ago, almost 35 years ago, about the erosion of the American workforce because of the outsourcing of jobs, because of the implementation of electronics and machines doing jobs that Americans used to have to do. And now artificial intelligence turbocharging that. And I just don't feel like we're having an honest conversation about what's about to go down here and how our economy shifts. I mean, it has been a slow erosion over the past 30 years. You look at the workforce now, you look at the jobs Americans did, you look at the jobs they do today, and it's not remotely the same. I think certainly if you were to compare it to the 30 years previous and how jobs still in many ways matched up or lined up, et cetera. But now I feel like we're in a world where, especially over the past 3 or 4 years, and you have seen CEOs of major corporations talk about this. They're kind of starting, it was hush-hush in the beginning, but now they're starting to be pretty open about it. Why? Because they got shareholders to appease. They've got quotas to hit. That you are seeing and are going to see the acceleration of the gutting of the American workforce. And we're not even talking about conditions of labor anymore. We're talking about, is there any labor to actually do? Like, I think that's the new conversation. And our politicians are being very deceitful by not starting to sit down and have the honest conversation with the American workforce. Like, we talked about, I had a meeting, a lunch the other day. I'd never met this guy before. Super nice guy. Lives in Brownsburg. Big fan of our show. He worked in the media industry. And he worked behind the scenes. Long time, very respected guy. 30 plus years in the business, in the media business. And he recently lost his job. And I was asking him, because this guy's probably 10, 12 years older than me. Was like, what are you going to do? Like, what do you do? Like, for me, oh, there's the lights. You thought you had that. So those of you who are listening on the Apple, on the Spotify, you can't see this, but the lights just popped on here, which has caused me to have a nice heavenly glow, Jason. I actually kind of like the way I look.
Ethan?
Oh, my gosh. That was crazy. I thought we had that solved. Anyway.
I think it's a timer.
Maybe it is a timer. I don't know. Well, you told the guy yesterday it was solved, so now you're going to have to bitch at the guy again. Yeah. Jason's awesome at bitching at people. Jason is the best person I've ever seen bitch at other people. It's great. I can't wait for the email to go out. I can't frickin' wait. Jason is the best a-hole I've ever seen. Anyway, for those of you watching on the TV, it's not like it's the end of the world, right? These are all things that are going to continue to happen.
They'll go out a little bit.
Yeah, it probably will go out a little bit. It's like, what? That brick looks really cool with the lights out. We have to figure out, okay, what time is that they went out? 11, 12. Let's make a note of that. I think it is. Maybe there's a timer on it. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get back to the American labor force. See, these are all fun things we can do because we're just on the internet. It doesn't matter. We can do or sound however we want. We have very low standards. The American workforce is about to get hit with a tsunami of not being needed. And I met with this guy who recently got laid off. He's a behind the scenes guy, engineer type of dude. And I asked him, I was like, where are you going to go? Like, what are you going to do? And he laid out a few ideas, but it ain't in the business he's always been in. It's not the thing he's always done, which he's done very well, by the way. He was a victim of consolidation, technology constricting the need for as many people, and a corporation saying the bottom line says you got to go, even though you do great work. No dispute, the guy did good work. But I asked him, where do you go? He goes, I don't know. I mean, I got some ideas, but I don't really know. I'm, 55 or whatever. And I got to start all over. And so, I think about the position I was in when I got let go at IBC. I have no idea why I got let go. Isn't that crazy? To this day, I still have no idea, nor do any of you. That's crazy. But look, it is what it is, right? I knew when it was going down, I said, okay, here's the next step. I'll utilize this technology I'm talking about because I think I'm one of the people who can use it in reverse, right? I can take technology which there used to be an environment where you get fired from your radio job, you're done, right? Who? He, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Now, because of technology, we can use that technology and we can produce this. I'm one of the few people who can use it in reverse. So it has prolonged my time in this business. It has enabled me to be able to hang around longer and us to produce this program, and you guys obviously like it and you really enjoy it. But I think about the average American worker who it's not, hey, in the distant future. Hey, it's not a decade from now. It could be tomorrow. It could be a year from now. Your position, it don't even exist anymore. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know anything about this stuff, right? You guys know my job's come in here and talk. My job's come in here and create content that you guys want to see and hear. Tell you things you're not going to hear anywhere else about the government. You better be very careful with that. If that falls over, we're going to be knocked off the air.
Pay no attention.
But my wife lives in this world. She does this for her job. And she has been telling me about the things that she is doing, the way she's utilizing it. See, my wife is very smart. And I say this now, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I was a very good student, but a very lazy one. And when I was in my 20s, I thought I'd scored one over the system. My degree is in general studies. On the dean's list every semester, incredible GPA. Got the letter every semester. Congratulations. Yeah, well, history of TV is pretty easy to get an A+ in. History of Jimi Hendrix, a real class I actually took. Easy to get 104% in. History of the Beatles, real class I actually took. Easy to get 105% in. Because I just wanted a college degree. I also was horrible at math. Let me rephrase that. I had no interest in math. And so I didn't want to take the stats class. I didn't want to take the math class required to get a business degree. And over time, that has cost me a lot. I would have made a lot more money. Look, everything I've done in owning businesses, and we've had some successful businesses, had some not so successful ones too, as will most business owners. I've had to learn on the fly. I've had to learn it as we go. I wish now that I'd have had that skill set at 40 years old plus, because it would have helped me a lot along the way and would have helped me a lot now. My wife, on the other hand, she got a real degree. And she figured out very young, hey, technology's coming. You can either get swallowed up by it, or you can be the person who knows the technology so well that you manipulate the technology and people hire you to tell the technology what to do, and that's her. She has an infinitely better, brighter future than I do. Now, as long as you guys don't get bored with me, I'll be able to throw 3 nickels together and be able to afford something that resembles a car and gas to get here. But the reality is, unless you're one of these people who understands how to dictate the technology, you're one of these people that understands how to get ahead and think not just a year ahead or 2 years ahead or 5 years ahead, but 10 years ahead. And those people are getting fewer and fewer. She talks with me about that, how there's fewer and fewer people that can do what she does because of the technology. The technology is advancing to the point where they won't need people to tell it what to do. Everybody gets swallowed up eventually. And then you have to have a real conversation. What does our society actually look like when we don't need jobs anymore? I'm not trying to be some doomsday scare tactic person. Andrew Yang, you guys remember Andrew Yang? He was that business guy who ran for president on the Democrat side in 2020, and he was pretty moderate, and he had some, very mainstream views, especially as it related to business, especially amongst all the crazy people that he was running against. He talked at the time about universal basic income, and this was before the AI takeover, right? 2020 hasn't yet, fully immersed itself. 2019 when he was out there running. We knew what AI was, but it had not taken over like it has the last several years. He said universal basic income is inevitable, and the government needs to start planning how they're going to implement it because of the technological takeover. And if these corporations are going to eliminate the American workforce, then they need to pay a price for it. And people, even on our side of the aisle, were like, and I really liked Andrew Yang. You guys remember? That was when I was still with the Chicks. We used to play those Andrew Yang sounders all the time, and they would just laugh and brush it off. And I was like, this guy's onto something. You longtime listeners, remember all the way back to the show with the women. I was telling you guys, I was like, this dude is onto something. This is coming. And they were like, doesn't sound so stupid now. Doesn't sound so silly now. The government needs to get a real handle on how they're going to address jobs not being available. Not paying what we want, not elevating wages, like jobs not existing. The American workforce is about to get obliterated, guys. And we're just sitting, and our politicians are just sitting with their head in the sand, and they're not going to do anything until it's too late. They're not going to do anything until it's too late. Let's see. Let me get to this. Yes, this is interesting. So The Hill had an article about how young people are feeling about the economy. And I think with young people, primarily the economy is how they judge their existence. The economy is primarily how they decide how they're feeling about things. Because, and I was this way too, right? I was pretty much a me first person until I hit, I don't know, maybe until my daughter was born. Like, you guys have kids, you probably went through this too, right? There's just, when we found out we were going to have Olivia. But once you find out you're going to have a child, like everything that was before is never again. It's like there's two, I don't know if it was this way for you guys. I guess it was for me. I assume it probably was for many of you. Like there is a line in my life where everything that was before and everything that was after. And one of the reasons, and I've talked about this a lot over the years, I keep this journal for her every day. One of the reasons I started keeping that journal was obviously for her, so that she will have a day-by-day account of her entire life. And should she choose to continue to keep it whenever I pass that off to her, she could theoretically be 80 years old and read back on every day of her existence. That's pretty crazy, right? I would love to have had that. My parents kept my mom kept a little journal for me on like big events that would happen. Like, and it's one of the things that inspired me to do this was reading those old entries. But then I realized, well, it's like, months at a time in between writings. And it's great to have these big things, but like, what about the day-to-day stuff? Like, I would be fascinated to know what a little craphead I was at 2.5. Like, how did I ruin my parents' existence at 2.5 years old? But one of the reasons I also did this was for her, but also in a weird way, kind of for myself, right? Like there's a dividing line. I see myself, I go back and read the old journal entries. And like if you think of it like a flip book, you see yourself change over time. I've seen myself in writing over the past 3.5 years change over time. Who I am as a human being. Kids do that to you. At least they should. But the other, for young people, I'm talking people 30 and under, especially those without kids, the economy is kind of the only thing you care about. You're about you. When you're young, and it's the way it should be, you're about you. Everything you do is kind of about you. Who you date, about you. Who you hang out with, about you. Where you work, about you. What you spend your money on, about you. And so the economy, how the young people are feeling about the economy, kind of gives you an insight into how they may vote this fall. So I'm talking about all of this because Trump, unlike really any other Republican president since Reagan, or any Republican politician since Reagan, got the young people to vote for him, especially men, not women, but the men. Now they're these turning point bros that are trying to disrupt our entire election cycle here. They've turned into turning point bros. But he got the young men to vote for him. And I think primarily it was because they believed in Trump and what he could do for the economy. So Generation Lab is an organization that did this survey. It's articles in The Hill. Found that more than 8 in 10 young adults rate economic conditions in the U.S. as either bad or terrible. 55% of respondents ages 18 to 24 said they view the economy as bad. 29% said it's terrible. That's not good because that's how those people vote. And the Republicans have shown the Trump coalition, which is different than the Republicans, has shown you have to cobble these people together in order to win. You have to get these people that you normally don't get. And young people were a part of that. You don't have to win them, but you can't lose them 9-1, which is what Republicans usually lose the young people at. So 84% of people 18 to 24 read economic conditions as bad or terrible. They're not voting for you because they vote for them. They're not thinking about anything other than what's right in front of them. 25 to 29 age range, 52% said the economy was bad. 3 in 10 said it's terrible. So not much different. 81% of people 25 to 29 view the economy terrible. People under the age of 30 think things suck. And they're going to keep thinking that because they do suck. And so I don't know how you convince these people that are invested in themselves and their position and their lot as being first and foremost to vote for you if you haven't produced for them. More than 4 in 10 of the respondents, 18 to 24, blame the president. 1/3 faulted corporate greed in large companies. 9% blame congressional Republicans, 2% congressional Democrats. 1% blame the Federal Reserve. I'm shocked anyone 18 to 24 knew what the Federal Reserve was. That means it comes back to what we talked about earlier. It's very hard to win elections when you can't run with your president. Your president has to be your home run hitter. He has to be your closer. Has to be the guy that you can bring in and brings the hammer down to get people across the finish line. Most of these young people are blaming Trump, not even the congressional Republicans. So then it comes back to the conundrum. The smart move would be to run against Trump. But then if you run against Trump, there's a bunch of people who will never vote for you. It's a real box the Republicans find themselves in. 25 to 50 to 29, same thing. 1/3 faulted Trump. 1/3 faulted corporate greed, large companies. 8% said congressional Republicans. 3% Democrat. It's Trump. You're starting to see this in one demographic after another, that it's Trump. And for Trump and for the Republicans, that's a really bad deal because a bunch of people don't vote if Trump's not on the ballot. They just won't vote, period. They will only vote for Trump. And now amongst people who might vote, Trump's losing people out of the coalition, young men that help propel him to the presidency, especially in these swing states and these swing districts. It is not good. All right, we'll take our last break, and then it's your time to shine. YouTube chat, best comments of the day. Producer Jason, he's going to read them when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Planning a trip can be overwhelming. You know where you want to go, but how do you make it happen? That's where Baltus Travel Service comes in. Adam Baltus takes the worry out of travel and is with you every step of the way. The great thing about using Baltus Travel Service is in most cases, it won't make your trip cost an extra dime. Adam is certified through most major cruise lines as well as Disney and Universal theme parks. If you've been thinking about going anywhere in the world, take the worry out with Baltus Travel Service. There's no charge for a consultation to find out in advance what your trip will cost. Get started today by visiting baltustravel.com or call 812-593-7561. 812-593-7561.
With a lakefront view in beautiful Brazil, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage is a little out of the way, but totally worth the trip. Down home, made from scratch food, just like the good old days at Grandma's. When you visit the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, you'll leave more at peace than when you came in. Open 5 to 8 for dinner on Friday and Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 1:30 for the buffet. You must experience the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage. Call 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003.
If authentic wood-smoked barbecue is your thing, Double D's Barbecue in Clayton is the place for you. Owners Dennis and Tina Duncan, along with their son Garrett, are from Memphis. So when it comes to barbecue, they're not screwing around. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. All of Double D's food is cooked fresh daily, and it's all made from scratch. Double D's Barbecue, located at 40 and 39 in Clayton, is open all day, Wednesday through Saturday, but get there early because once they're sold out, they're done. Check out the full menu, ribs, brisket, and more at ddbbq317.com.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan ceilings or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434, and mention Rob for a free attic inspection.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance, so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
All right, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for helping us grow. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button. We got to get to 200 likes before the end of this show, people. We're not screwing around here. Come on. That was my angry face. How'd I do?
It's swell.
Yes, it's that time where we reward those of you who have been with us throughout the course of the show today. Reminder to be a commenter in the YouTube chat. You have to be a subscriber. So if you have not done so yet, hit the subscribe button. And with that, we introduce the man who monitors, oversees.
Hello. How we doing? All right. Looks like I got some volume there, so it's always a good start.
That's right. And the YouTube chat, producer Jason, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. Tell us about it.
That is correct, Rob. I will tell you about it. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to the plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. Black Sheep Plumbing can do the job right at a fraction of the cost of the big guys. And Black Sheep Plumbing says thank you to all military, firefighters, and police officers with the American Heroes discount. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your... Everybody should just text him right now. Just blow his phone up. Only if you need his services, though, of course. That would be rude otherwise. And that number to text John, get ready, 765-315-7558. For those of you that were grabbing your phones, here we go again, 765-315-7558.
I got to text.
Just say, hey, on behalf of Jason or something like that.
I gotta text him, too. My old man's got a project he wants done, and I told my dad last week I'd do that for him, and I haven't because I'm a horrible son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
I've heard.
Yeah, I'll text him, no problem. And here I am like 5 days later, I still have not done that. I mean, it's not like an immediate need project, but
right.
Anyway, live show. I'm very excited.
Yes, live show. We got our live show coming up. What did you say the date was?
June 27th.
We got a whiteboard. We're going to write that down.
Yeah, Saturday, June 27th at the Mad Hatter, same place we did the last one. They were awesome to us last time.
Right.
It'll be me up on stage having a great time. You're going to be there. You're going to play a few tunes?
I haven't figured that out yet. See, there's a couple options. We could go with the whole idea of me playing music was when you did it with Hammer, you did your meet and greet before.
Yeah.
And everybody was sitting around bored out of their minds, like waiting on you to finish your meet and greet.
Yeah.
Including me. So I was like, man, I could be up here jamming right now.
Yeah.
Entertaining the folks. But you're not doing it that way this time. So it's like, I don't know, a concert before a political thing just never, I never felt that really ever works out right. So, I mean, I could throw a band together, I could do all kinds of stuff, or I could just get up there for this is the other option, 10 minutes and roast the hell out of Rob. See, that's music. Okay, if they want to hear me play music, what is it? This is May, right?
Yeah.
May 17th, less than 2 weeks, I'm playing at Chilly Waters Brewing in Greenwood, which is on Olive Branch Road and 135, kind of Center Grove-ish area. Yeah. And so if you want to hear me play, just, you can come out there. I'm playing acoustic guitar from 4 until 7, Chilly Waters. If you want to come on out and check it out. I know Rob won't be there.
I've been to several of Jason's shows.
When's the last time you came to one of my shows?
The one at the Avon American Legion.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. That was, a couple years ago?
No,
that was Libby was born.
Hell, it wasn't.
Okay.
Because we had to get a babysitter to come see you.
Oh, is that right?
You ungrateful SOB.
Thank you for.
We had to get a babysitter to.
Rob's like, that's my 2-year obligation.
Yeah. Jason's shows are great. He's great at working the crowd. And okay, so I guess we need to. So obviously, I'm going to do the live the one-man show. Comedy, we'll roast the politicians, we'll do all the stuff. The meet and greet will be for everybody who gets a lower level seat. There is no bad seat at Mad Hatter, but if you get the lower level seat, we're going to include the meet and greet in it this time.
It appears the Rob roast might be the way to go.
All right. Well, whatever you guys want. I don't care.
Ryan Schleeman, roast.
Ryan, are you going to come down and buy tickets, Farmer Ryan?
C. Mills, producer Jason, you can tell some Rob origin stories. I've got a lot of good Rob origin stories.
Yeah.
Young Rob stories.
All right.
Young Robbie Kendall.
I don't.
I remember the day. That Robbie Kendall changed his name to Rob Kendall.
That's right.
Yeah, old Mr. Wilson forced you to do that from the newspaper in Brownsburg.
Remember that when he? I don't want to tell the whole story because it ruined the event.
No, I'll tell it funnier, so you can tell your version.
Well, okay. So when I was, running for town council,
right? And how old were you?
27.
Yeah, still going by Robbie.
Yeah. There was a guy who, it was like a townie newspaper. Bob Wilson was the guy's name.
This makes my hair look really, really white.
Yeah, see, now you're going to get those lights back
Yeah,
up.
those are going down tomorrow. Go ahead, continue on.
It's a guy named Bob Wilson, and he printed it was like, when I say a town newspaper, it wasn't a newspaper. It was, what do you call it was like
a photocopy type of.
It was like stapled together.
Yeah, 11 by 17 folded.
He owned a business on Main Street called the Gas House. This is okay, I didn't even intend to do this, but people will love the story.
Yeah, we got
time. So this guy, his name was Bob Wilson. He was like, and I can say this because I'm short, he was maybe 5'4". He might have weighed 105 pounds.
Named Mr. Wilson.
Mr.
Right?
Wilson,
right.
Yeah. Bob Wilson was the guy's name.
Like Dennis the Menace.
And he was like this little old guy, but everybody in town was scared to death of him because he printed this little towny newspaper that went out to all the businesses once a week, and he was just mean as crap to people. Like, you think I'm bad? Like, this guy, he'd make fun of, like, the council members' weight, all sorts of just stuff.
Right.
But everybody was, like, subservient to him. Like, everybody was petrified of the guy.
They didn't want to be made fun of.
He was like the Don Corleone of, like Brownsburg.
Right.
And I'm talking like elected officials would go kiss the ring finger, like department heads. Like, you'd go over to this, and he ran a business. Like, he fixed cars and stuff.
He was your idol then, right? Is what you're saying? Let people come kiss my ring.
So he ended up supporting me, but he had initially supported the guy that I was running against. but that guy made him mad because he didn't do something he wanted. But when he was supporting the guy that I was running against, like he flipped in the middle. I think he flipped because he knew I was kicking the guy's ass, and he was like, I don't want to be on this kid's bad side because I didn't ask for his support. I was like the one person who was like, no, I'm not getting in bed with anybody here. No.
Especially Mr. Wilson.
He wrote in his newspaper, I've lived like the most boring life imaginable, right? I've never done drugs, never anything. So their big gotcha was Rob goes to Broad Ripple a lot. Rob, I was in my 20s. Rob hangs out with other good-looking women in their 20s in Broad Ripple.
Good-looking women.
And they found this photo of me with two of these chicks I used to hang out with, and they're sitting on my lap. And again, nobody's doing anything inappropriate. It's nothing. Like
a well-endowed friend.
They were very well assembled. And he took the photo and he prints the photo in the newspaper, and he goes, I don't think this was exactly, but something like, if you elect Rob Kendall to Brownsburg, you're going to get whorehouses, not more houses. And I was like,
he's got my vote.
I was like, what do you think this is going to punish me? Like, people are going to see this and be like, he hangs out with hot chicks. We're voting against that guy. Anyway, you probably...
Well, that wasn't the story. The story was when he made fun of your name because, again, as a 27-year-old man, you should not have been going by Robbie. There are certain names that men can use throughout their life with a end with an IE or a Y. Robbie is not one of them. It just does not sound
No. Robbie Thompson was
Timmy, Robbie.
No.
Now, Johnny, if you got your dad's name John and you're Johnny, that's okay. Very few. Timmy and all that, it's like,
where's this rule written down?
It's been written a long time ago, Rob.
No. Robbie.
And that's why Mr. Wilson jumped your ass about it and made fun of you. Finally, you're changed. I'm not Robbie Kendall. I'm Rob Kendall. Literally the day. I mean, it really was.
Now I know all sorts of famous adults who are named Robbie.
Like who?
Like Robbie Thompson was the second baseman for the San Francisco Giants.
If you're an athlete or an actor, half the names are fake anyway. If you're an actor or a singer, so yeah, if you're a singer,
the radio broadcaster,
but if you're a normal person, which I guess that explains everything right there.
Get to the chat.
MLM Warrior starts us off today in the chat. She beat the old man.
Oh, she beat the old man.
She feels good about herself. She says, "Happy Election Day. Get out and vote." The old man follows up, "Running late this morning because I had to go vote, and I don't mind waiting in line to perform my civic duty. Let's all take time and go vote today." Very good opening there from the old man. McLovins, good morning. I just saw the new background on Facebook. Good job, guys. Smash that like button.
That was Ethan and Jason.
Yep. And then we're talking about these are all coming during the 10-minute warm-up with the music. So the show hadn't even started with all these popped in. MK Dawes. I'm voting for the candidate that's completely bought and paid for and listens to the party establishment more than the constituency. that would be like every candidate, pretty much, I think, is what MK Dawes is getting at. A little tongue-in-cheek. McLovins, I wonder if a piece of wall came out. Okay. I wonder if that's a piece of wall out of one of Ethan's rentals.
It doesn't have any bullet holes in it.
That's true. Oh, that's mean.
No. You can't say that's mean. He posted about it on Facebook that his house got shot up.
He's laughing right now. And he did. Last night, quickly. So, Ethan said he'd come over and help out. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I got all these ideas. I want to hang all this stuff. And we're going to have this just all built out and everything. And finally, we roll in about 3:30. And I'm like, he's like, okay, what are we going to do now? I'm like, let's just hang some more curtains and call it a day. It's like, no, I drove down here. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna go to Menards and we're gonna get the materials and we're gonna get this done. And you see what we got done there, and that was a fantastic job. I mostly sat right here, and that's a little crooked there, Ethan, and he fixed everything. And I helped out, of course.
Do you want to know how I'm paying Ethan back?
How are you paying Ethan back?
He's gonna get to live out his lifelong dream. He gets to go be social with me on Friday night.
Oh, he gets to spend time with Rob. Yeah, I think he's expecting a check as well, but I don't know. That's between you and Ethan. But no, he did. He did a great job.
Awesome.
I could have done it. But
you'd be dead.
It would have taken a way, way, way longer time.
I'm very concerned about you moving those chairs. We're supposed to get the chairs today. I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah, I've got it handled.
Okay.
I can do that. I'm not that damn old.
Well,
Rob.
I know, but I don't want. You can't go down.
I can't go down.
You can't go down
until I train somebody how to do this.
Yeah, that's right. Until Vaughn learns how to do this
and how to work a light switch. Which somebody had a great line. Our light switch here, not light switch. We got this new place, and what happens is when we walk in, the lights, it's got a sensor, so it automatically just pops on. And it's like, well, that's not going to work because we need to control the light so we can have all that really nice, purple and
the glow.
Right, and all that good stuff. So basically, it came on during Rob's show, during the middle of the show. We got so many comments. I'm trying to find, and here it is. And he's a new person in the chat. Billy M4W.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Kentucky, there is a guy flipping a light switch on and off and wondering why is not doing anything. So I don't know. I've left them on. I left the overheads on. See, the problem is Rob. I love these extended chat times, Rob. The problem is Rob has raccoon eyes. He's got his eye sockets are deep within his skull. You've got like your eyebrows hang way out.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not your eyebrows. It's just your bone structure.
Yeah.
So anytime you're
telling me?
No, just your face.
Yeah.
Underneath, if you're underneath. Okay, if you're directly underneath the light, it puts a shadow in your eyes, and we call that raccoon eyes. And people don't pay. So I had to keep lowering the lights to put light into your eyes.
Remember when you first got into photography and you had that studio in Greenwood? Do you remember that?
Right.
It was in Greenwood, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
I still have those pictures. My grandma had those pictures, and when she passed away, I kept them. And you've come so. I was looking at those pictures the other day. I was like, he's come so far.
So they were so bad.
Oh, they were but you didn't know at the time. I mean, I'm just saying you've just.
It's one of those deals where you own a camera for about 3 months. You're like, I'm going to be a photographer. I'm going to open up a business. Anybody want photos taken? I'll charge.
Jason is a phenomenal photographer. Like your street photography and stuff is amazing. But like, I was one of your original and
guinea pigs,
and a couple of your friends from the establishment you worked at.
Right. Wait. So I got into it like every other perverted old man. Kevin Branham, Jason at about 165 minutes. Yes, we extended that extra hour. We got to add that extra time. We still got plenty of time, don't we? C. Mills, but John Piper, Anthony Gary, and Sheila Zielinski got my vote. Talking about voting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, John Piper.
Very good.
Got to vote. Debbie Holcomb. Good morning, fellow Robbleheads. Have you hit the like button yet? And if you haven't, please do so.
Yeah, are we to 200 yet?
I don't know. I'm on the. You've got a phone.
I don't. Okay, it's rude to use your phone while you're on the radio. Well, I'm not on the radio, on the podcast.
Nathan Hughes. Good morning, guys. Rob and Jason, you guys are famous. I saw a beautiful billboard.
Oh, yeah.
Northbound 69, mile marker. No, that would be. It says northbound 69, mile marker 99. But we're also at mile marker 99 on 65 south.
Maybe he meant 65. Maybe.
Well, maybe we're up there. They said Noblesville, so maybe we're up there.
I love that Rust. Like, I think this is how it went down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rust was.
John Rust.
Yeah, John Rust, our fabulous friend.
Mm-hmm.
He was running for Senate, and I think in his mind, I think this is how it went down. Now we'll have him in here Wednesday. Rust is gonna be with us on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask him this. I think he was like, I need some billboards for my Senate run, and because he's so ridiculously successful and wealthy, he was just like, well, why am I renting a billboard? Why don't I just buy the billboard? Like, I think he just was like, I'm just going to buy the billboard. Then I can put all my friends on billboards whenever I want.
There you go. It's all about having a friend.
And you know where I found out about that? Was friend of the show, Adam Wren.
Okay.
From Politico, wrote that Rust was giving David Shelton the space on his billboard. I didn't know they were electronic billboards. I thought they were just like the traditional billboards. And I was like, well, hey, we need to be on a billboard. And he's like, sure, no problem. Then I found out it's an electronic billboard, and they can just change them whenever they want.
C. Mills, 193 likes. Regular Jeff, 193 likes. Jack the Libertarian, 189 likes. We lost 4 likes.
You can't lose a like.
Oh, then he came back 195.
We got to get to 200 by the end of this show.
Come on, we need 4 more likes.
That's ridiculous.
There we go. Okay, well, I'm sure we'll entice them.
You freeloaders, hit the like button.
That's no way to talk to your chatters. Debbie Holcomb, does anyone have a photo of the billboards? Yes, we do.
We do.
Now, we don't actually have a photo of the billboard on the road, but they're on the website. If you go to robkendallshow.com, scroll down, you'll see my fabulous artwork there of Rob's basic billboard, because it's like pops up for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's one of those digital things, so you can't read, you can't put a whole biography on there. So it just says Rob Kendall Show, the Rob Kendall photo that I took like 15 years ago, and because Rob has never changed, and the YouTube logo. YouTube's getting a lot of promotion.
It is pretty amazing. And I'm never one to brag on myself.
No,
but I mean, I'm almost the same weight. I was more fit back then, just because after you get married, you lose some ability to care. But my fitness goal is to stay alive at this point. That's my motivation for fitness. But other than that, I basically weigh the same. I do have, if you look very close, a little bit more gray hair. But I think I've looked pretty close to that. Like, you see some people from 15 years ago, you're like, that is not even close.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's very close.
Yeah. 15 years ago, my hair was...
Yeah, you had more of it, too.
More of it. Yeah, if we can get... we need it. Like you're always saying, how many people do that hair, like that AstroTurf you've got on yours? How that... I need some of that.
Oh, We Grow Hair Indy.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Right.
I've endorsed for them for years.
Are they the only ones
we'll
in
get
town?
over here
Maybe we find somebody. Okay. If you plant hair on people's heads,
Jason would like to.
I'd like to have some of that.
Like to hear from
Ethan Hatcher, brought to you by the fashion sensible at producer Jason, doing the finest set designs in a budget that he can find. We had a budget, but I think we did pretty. There's supposed to, I don't know if I should tell. Eventually, we're gonna do something else there. People said there should be a Rob Kendall sign. I think like a Rob Kendall Show neon sign would be cool and everything. But there's some other stuff we're gonna do. That was just one night.
Do I need to call Sign Man?
Yeah, get Sign Man on the line.
Okay, we have a guy. We have a sign guy that we've known for years.
But Rob won't call him.
Well, I have to find out what you want. I told Sign Guy. He said, AJ said, I will do it.
Okay.
But he said, I got to know what you want. He can't just make a sign.
Yeah. I bet it'd be hard to make a neon or a LED white sign. Okay. LD Stoltz. The set is looking a little better each day. Thank you very much.
It's progress.
Josh Richardson. Updated studio is looking quite professional. Great job, Jason and Ethan. Young Kim Young. Your mom did a great job with the shirt today, and the studio looks great too.
So I have these 2 shirts that are different from the other shirts. My mom last night goes, I really like the way those shirts look. 'Cause I wore the other one, the blue one, yesterday.
Right. And that's not like a Mickey Mouse logo. What is that?
No, it's some sort of polo or something. I don't ask any questions. I just wear the shirts when they show up. She said, she goes, those are the hardest to iron, though. I said, well, they look the best. They're my favorites. So
your mom ought to get you an iron for Christmas.
I have an iron.
She likes doing it.
She likes doing it.
Yeah,
people act like it's some sort of like forced labor thing or something. She likes doing it.
Yeah,
jeez.
No. Good job, Mom Kendall. All right. Noctura fan Mark W.
All right.
TP USA used to be awesome. Don't know what happened to it once Charlie was assassinated. Well,
I think that's a good.
His wife, perhaps.
Well, this is the point. Like, there's clearly no adults running the show at Turning Point USA. These guys are horrible representatives, and like, I'm totally serious about this. Like, I would probably, if it were incumbent versus a Turning Point USA person, the way these guys have handled themselves, I would probably not vote, even though I loathe most of these incumbents because they're just like.
Well, the thing is that I think any sort of organization with questionable or just I don't know or just prominent leadership makes you wonder, because like the what was it the just had on the tip of my tongue, the Conservative Party, the grassroots, what were they called?
What the hell are you talking about?
Like a few years ago they were called
Tea Party.
The Tea Party.
Yes.
There was no real leader.
No.
And so it was something you could wrap your arms around and be like, okay, I can be a part of that because of the philosophy and what they're trying to do. A lot of the same thing as the TPUSA, but with TPUSA, you've got his wife up there. And I think that was just the wrong move. She may be perfect for the position. I don't pay attention because I don't really care about them, but it just seems like you don't put the wife in.
And this is what I think has changed. And look, I interviewed Charlie Kirk when he was obviously still with us, and it was.
We should replay that. Or no, I guess we can't. Sorry, never mind. Continue on. Let's get him back in here.
I interviewed him, and he seemed like, and this was his public persona too, he's obviously was a very famous person, but he seemed very almost hesitant about his fame, right? Like, clearly he was ambitious.
He wasn't in it for the fame.
Well, right. He was clearly very ambitious, and right, you don't elevate and do all that stuff. I'm not like naive to like, oh my gosh, he was just the Lord's servant, right?
Spotlight.
I mean, I'm not saying he was obviously a very Christian, devout in his faith. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like you don't rise to that level without being in it to some extent. But he had a very almost passive nature about him. That made him endearing. These idiots now that are out running around in his name with that organization, like they were this way with redistricting, they alienated everyone, and they're like, it's like dinner theater characters where they're just parroting Trump and they're just using these phrases and saying these things and taking these pictures, and it's just like, you are the most unlikable, obnoxious people imaginable, and I should be cheering for the people that you're supporting.
MLM Warriors, 200 likes. C Mills, 200. Hey! Jack the Libertarian, 200. Free beer on Rob. Rob Stab.
I'm so excited to see Ethan in a social setting. I don't think I've ever seen Ethan, I've been to Ethan's house, but I don't think I've ever been out in a social setting with Ethan. I'm going to be fascinated to see how that goes.
Okay.
So if you guys are out and about this weekend and you look close enough in the greater downtown area, you might see Ethan and I at whatever establishment. I only go to like 3 establishments, so
right.
Sit down.
Andy Engel, ha 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 ha. Rob with babes sitting on his lap. MLM Warriors likes the new background. White Rabbit likes the new background. The Old Man 68. Anyone else hear the Hamburglar's voice when you read?
Are you talking about me?
I don't know. Well, I'm reading. You're not reading.
Oh, is this current though? I mean,
I think so.
Oh.
I don't think he meant that in a bad way, of course. I'm sure the Hamburglar has a fantastic voice.
Has the Hamburglar ever
strong
talked?
Set of pipes. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and have to YouTube one of those, see what he means. Okay, let's see. Continuing on. The TPUSA, C Mills. There won't be another Charlie Kirk in our lifetime. Charles Luty.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sluty. Perhaps TPUSA needs new leadership at the helm to step up. Are they redeemable? ? Is it Erica Kirk ? Or has the entire organization gone cattywampus?
That's a strong word.
I'm going to have to incorporate that into my vocabulary.
I think this is also true. I think when you have somebody that rises to the level of influence of Charlie Kirk, you get just they're like roaches, right, of people who try to cling on to that. But when you've got some guy at the helm, he can kind of rein all that in, and he's bigger than the organization itself. He can kind of rein that in.
It was him.
Right. A great example, Micah Beckwith is someone who desperately wants to be Charlie Kirk. Like, that's the sort of people that were in that orbit, and now that he's not there to keep, the king is not there to keep everybody at bay, you have all of these people who see themselves elevating off of his name, elevating off of his organization.
Next in line.
Right, totally. I got to get seen. I got to get noticed.
The Old Man 68, Charlie Kirk and Rush Limbaugh. Let's see, C Mills. Rob is a close second to Limbaugh. That's high praise right there.
Thank you. That's very...
I hear a lot of people say that.
Very nice.
I hear a lot of people say that.
We were talking about, and I know we got to go here in a second, but I was talking about...
No, we know we got plenty of time.
I've got to go mail the packages. I got stuff to do. I got it covered, man. You need to run out. Rob's leaving. I was talking with my wife about this yesterday, and she was talking about the show, and I told her, I said, I'm going to be very interested to see how far this show goes, because I think I got punished big time for being in a totally independent lane, which is... I hate all of these people.
You were kind of mean, though. I mean, I know.
Wouldn't you have been if you had the circumstances that I had?
I was just about to say, I know the circumstances, probably more than a lot of people because I heard it every day. But, but no, you were angry, and I had to explain, to my mom, some other people. It's like, well, you got to understand. He's not just coming in pissed off, or he's not pissed off. It's like he can't speak. It's like he talks for 2 minutes, he gets cut off with a stupid question or a stupid comment from anybody. And And he gets 7 minutes to tell a 25-minute, story. And I was saying this back before we even had the 25 minutes to tell it, and that's why we knew if we had 20 minutes to tell a story, you could tell a story in 20 minutes. And so it wasn't just that you were just an a-hole, although you did that very well. I mean, not everybody can pull that off consistently, but you did.
Well,
but here I think it's totally. You're totally different, I think, in my opinion.
I'm very happy because I can do the thing I need to do, which is get the message. But I'm going to be curious to see how far this show can go because of the independent lane I've taken. Because in this modern era, and you see this with these Turning Point bros, it's all dinner theater to appeal to a side, to appeal to the politicians, to try to get on TV or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you have to almost like be on a team now. And if you're not on a team, you don't have any allies in your corner getting you in those positions. So
we could do this the rest of my life. I'd be happy. And that wouldn't be very long probably, but I'd be happy with it. So we'll let it go with this. Almond Joy Tempo. Your live show is on 627. And Stormy Horseface Daniels is there on 625.
I was aware of that.
Stormy Daniels is there 2 days before.
I was aware of that. All right, so full disclosure, I because obviously I know John very well, who's the
Mad Hatter,
the Mad Hatter guy. Mm-hmm. I'm optimistic we will have Stormy Daniels on this show before the live event. We're not guaranteeing anything.
Is this going to be Zoom or is this going to be live?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, probably would be Zoom. She probably. No, if she's here in town 2 days before,
we'll see.
Yeah,
we got some parts put together.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That could all work. Make it work,
Nobody
Rob.
better to interview her than me.
She doesn't look as good as she did back when Trump was paying her off. But
neither do you.
Well, I didn't.
All right,
nobody's arguing that fact.
Do it for us today.
So long, everybody.
Yeah, producer Jason, thank you guys for everything. Get those tickets, June the 27th. We'll love to see you guys for the live show. It's gonna be a great time. For producer Jason, I'm Rob. You've been watching Rob Kendall Show.